Greetings. This is Friener Rudimentra, uh, half elven YouTuber and streamer, or at least I hope to be a streamer one. Come to you with another reaction from D&D. Tonight's episode, the Rat Trap, the fifth episode of the Dungeon Dudes Dungeon of Drakkenheim campaign. And let's see. Of course, if you've been watching this already and stuff, and keeping up with my reaction to the rest of Drakkenheim, you will know that I do not own nor am I associated with the Dungeon Dudes YouTube channel or any of the other online presence and stuff. I am just a fan. I'll have a link to their actual channel in the description, and I'll just let them describe what happened the last time. And let's get into it now. You've already seen the
Drakkenheim is known
so much for joining us again every Thursday on our YouTube channel, where we're the Dungeon Dudes, and we cover everything D&D, including advice for dungeon masters and some cool guides for players, as well as some pretty clickbaity videos about the most broken spells in D&D 5th edition, so you can check those out too. You'll also find prior episodes from this campaign available there for your viewing pleasure. We also are really, really excited to say that for the first time, we have D&D Beyond's new
third
Twitch
season
app
is now
integrated into the screen.
I'm sorry, their third season of the Drakkenheim campaign apparently is out. This Dungeons of Drakkenheim is the first season. The second is the Shadow, and I believe last week they came out with the first episode of The Fate of Drakkenheim. I don't know how many more seasons there might be. I'll have to find out.
The stream.
Woo! Wow!
It's just become available for all streamers, and so we've launched that in with us. So right up on the side here, this side? Yes, this side of the screen, you should be able to click by mousing over and see the full D&D Beyond character sheets for Sebastian, Veo, and Paludo, including how much damage they've taken, what awful conditions that have been inflicted upon them, and whether or not they're alive or dead. So you can click through and a new window will open up in D&D Beyond if you want to see their entire character sheet. But that'll always be there for reference. We're still going to have the stat cards come out on the stream itself,
characters on D&D
for those
Beyond.
who are tuning in afterwards. And for those of you that might be tuning in to watch episodes afterwards, we're going to have links in the YouTube description of the video to the full character sheet. So if you do want to see everybody's stats, what everybody's playing, you can go over and dive right in and check it out. So with that, let's return to the ruins. When last we left our heroes, they had ventured into the safe haven of Emberwood Village, a small settlement about 5 miles south of the ruins of Drakkenheim City. Once a prospering village on the Champion's Way heading into Drakkenheim, Emberwood Village has become a bit of a no man's land, but a safe haven for travelers, adventurers, and those who would make their fortune in the ruins. And so our heroes ventured there hoping to rest, resupply, and have some safety further away from the Eckerman Mill where they'd been staying for the past couple weeks. Once in Emberwood Village, though, they were rather surprised by the people that they met there. For Sebastian grew up in Emberwood Village and ran into his father, Tobias Crow, who he had not seen in 15 years. After a heartfelt reunion, Sebastian found out that his father has since remarried and had more children, and so the rest of you have been staying in Emberwood Village with Sebastian's new family in a lot of ways. It was a wonderful, lovely time, and while in Emberwood Village, you have all taken the opportunity to level up and resupply. So what are some of the things that you've picked up in your time in Emberwood Village?
Well, I know Veo being very specific about the food she was going to have afterwards. Picked up quite a few rations for the group. Got some candied salmon, which she was really excited about. And then when Veo leveled up, she got sharpshooter. So
Sweet.
very excited to start to do some major damage when we come across some foes.
Sebastian bought a health potion because seemingly that's very important, and also I bought thieves' tools, which is kind of strange, but I have a history of sneaking into places, and I wanted thieves' tools because I'm proficient in them. For my leveling up, I actually took the feat, what's it called, Elven Accuracy, which allowed me to boost my charisma, which was very nice. So now I'm even more deadly. And for my spells, I took Mold Earth as a new cantrip, and I took the Suggestion spell as a second level spell, and that was my level up.
Ooh. For Pluto Jackson, it was doubling down, getting some new splint mail from
Because I misspoke last time. I said it was scale mail, and you got splint mail.
Well, we knew. You guys knew. You knew. And I clunk around even more. And I also picked up for my level, I went with Shield Master. So I can slam people into stuff with my shield. And I look forward to continuing that tradition. It's a Caspian tradition.
It was the style at the time. All very exciting goodies, which you already got to use a little bit because at the end of last session, after having done your shopping, running into an old rival of Pluto Jackson's, Lord Jupiter Jones,
Damn you, Jupiter.
and shopping with Aldor the Immense, the caravan merchant in Emberwood Village, you decided to settle down at the Bark and Buzzard Tavern, only to find that it had been overtaken by agents of the Queen's Men bandit gang, including several of the survivors of your last encounter with them in the city ruins, a pair of halflings, a dwarf, and a human man. The unfortunate reality of it is that, well, you managed to fight off almost a dozen of the Queen's Men, slaying another 8 of them, I believe. The halflings and the human got away, including their leader, Cora, who managed to all flee into the night. And as you get your bearings,
Thought they actually got it. Apparently
once
no.
again, you hear the thumping coming from the cellar of the Bark and Buzzard.
And that's where we left off.
What is that? Oh.
I return knock.
It's
Shove
the
Pluto's-
owners,
No,
you.
help them out. What's going on? And I open up the cellar.
Sebastian's pouring himself a beer.
From the taps?
Yeah.
So the Bark and Buzzard has become a bit of a bloodbath right now, as the corpses of several slain Queensmen litter the
Right.
floor, and the overturned tables from the bar fight when Paluto threw one at one of them. There's a guy, one of the men has basically his head caved in the side of the room. I think 4 of them were incinerated.
Yeah, there's some ash and fire.
They might need to do some
And
sweeping.
others were relatively, shall we say, totally peppered with arrows by Veo. Although many did get away. And in the ensuing chaos, you didn't hear the cries of the coming from the cellar in the kitchen. So, Sebastian, you've gone up to the cellar. It's all been ransacked around back here, but you can hear the thumping coming from the cellar door.
Are you guys with me?
Oh yeah.
Or you're knocking on the door back. So I open up. Does it open? Is it locked?
It looks like the cellar door itself has been latched shut, and as well, several of the barrels in the kitchen have been stacked up on top of it.
I'm trying to pull it open, but I'm like, why is it not opening?
Pluto, could you give me a hand? And by give me a hand, I mean, could you move these barrels?
I do all the work. I do all the necessary lifting.
Taking the time to drag these heavy barrels of grain and water and other provisions aside, you cause deep rents to screech in the floor, but pull them away and open up the cellar door. upon which you see Karen and Holger Alsberg and the rest of the staff of the Bark and Buzzard, their normal barmaid and their 2 children, all huddled and tied up in the cellar. And it seems like Holger was knocking on the cellar door by headbutting it with his head. So he looks very, very like blood is kind of streaking down the side of him. Although maybe it's because the Queen's men might have beat him up as well.
Good evening, friends. My name's Sebastian Crow, and I'm here to rescue you.
Holger seems a little bit discombobulated by the beating to his head, but Karen recognizes you immediately, and she says, "Oh, what happened to them? Where are they? Thank you."
Mostly dead. Some of them did flee. You might need to take the night off to clean.
Will you help me out of the cellar?
Oh, yes, of course. Pluto.
Just like Bonds.
Like a good servant.
Oh, God.
Reach my hand. Come on.
I can't lift them out of the cellar.
I want to do like one of those, like just pull her up, just by one arm, just pull her right out.
As you're pulling them up, you see the ladder that's been pushed over to the side of the kitchen.
Oh,
I knew that was there.
we all knew that was there.
Just pointing back and forth between
Yeah.
it, being like, well, I'll let him do it.
And as they pull them up, a sigh of relief washes over Karen and her children, mixed with an expression of horror as they look out into the tap room and see the bodies. And she says, "You killed them all then?"
They started it.
And we killed most of them.
Yeah, most.
Holger, rubbing his head, speaks up and says, "There's no law in this town. There's no justice but what we make here. Thank you.
Of course.
You're under our protection.
I hope it'll last. This ain't the first time they've tried to do something like this to us. And I don't think it'll be the last. Those Queen's men think they have the run of this town. The hooded lanterns do nothing about it. They say they're supposed to protect us, but..." Holger looks at you, Sebastian, and says, "My pa used to say you were a blight and a curse, but you done right by me and my family."
That's all that I wanted to do. You're under our protection now.
Hey, that's my thing. Our protection. Our protection.
Yes, all 3 of us. You can call us the 3 crows.
Jackson 5 minus 2.
They own the Pussycats.
Karen says, "Well, whatever it was that you're calling yourselves, you 3, we thank you, but you should know, I think they were doing this to get at you. Whatever you did made them mighty angry."
Sorry about
They
the
were,
place.
they were in the city trying to hurt children and elderly, and I don't think there's any place for that here.
All right, well, be safe. If they're willing to beat us up, just us normal folks, just to get at you, I'd be worried about what they might do next time.
I'd also
Well-
maybe looking if you can spare it, maybe hiring a guard to help you out.
I'm just gonna wonder if they kill this
muscle?
queen.
That's what
the
some of the
queen.
others do.
Will they disband or will they
Across the
just
way,
pull vengeance?
That Mr. Van Dyer, he just pays them.
Oh.
Either way, cash out of your pocket, but
What about we saw the leader run out the back
Mm.
door. Is there any
That woman,
Yeah.
she's alive then.
Yeah, she got away. Where would she be running off to?
Karen kind of mutters. She says, "I think I'd heard that the Queen's men had some sort of pit or hideout somewhere in the spokes. They talk about having a hideout in the city somewhere, but I've only heard rumors."
yeah, they seem to be wherever wherever I've seen them is all around the city. I haven't seen any concentrated area of them, but
We do have that map of the places that they plan to hit, or
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Holger speaks
From-
up again and says, I heard that there's a bunch of them that have a fighting ring somewhere in the spokes.
interesting. I might
I
have
wonder if
somebody
that's the rat trap.
do they like take
Or
contests
are they going
with
back
that
to
ring?
the?
That's the rumor.
I might have a good candidate for that.
Might be one good way to get
Okay.
back at
It's
them.
him.
If you
It's
get
like-
into one of their games, who knows what you might be able to do. But I'd be careful. Seems like word's out that you're a mark, and if you let some of them go, they're going to be after you again for sure.
Darn it.
Maybe I should stop telling everybody my name.
At least you're not following up with like an address.
They didn't know my name before I started showing you around, so
Yeah, you've been with us for like less than a week.
Holger says, "Look it. If you want to stay here, you want to have some drinks. You never have to pay for a drink here."
Oh, good.
wow.
No, no.
Phenomenal.
And again, if I heard
Thank you.
that said that, and I heard
I'm
said,
gonna
"Oh,
take
good,"
you
I
up
would
on
say,
that.
"Oh
A
no."
lot.
I'll have a nightcap.
I'm pretty sure we rated the bodies, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There were several, aside from their equipment, several coins, and most of them have a few either packs of cards or dice or something to gamble with. Scrounging across what's on their person, most of them had a couple gold pieces each. We'll just give it a random roll. I'd say between the 8 of them that you managed to slay, there's about 85 gold pieces, but little more than that.
What
Of
about
value.
they all wear the armbands, right?
Yeah, the Queen's men usually wear some sort of rose or armband or bandana on their person to mark their colors.
I want to get one.
Okay.
And I suggest that we all take, just in case.
Okay.
To try to disguise ourselves as them.
No, that was giving away the plan.
I'll
I
take
thought
one.
we were discussing. Okay, I take
You
one.
never know who could be listening.
Yeah. What if I'm one of them? I'm not one of them.
You're confusing me.
I grab one of them as well. And I mean, realistically, if I put one on, it wouldn't be too far from, believable.
Okay.
You might do better than my minor illusion badge that I keep trying to show them.
We've never used a badge. This must be.
I could disguise myself and put it on. There we go.
Yeah.
What's your next move?
Well, we're going to be spending the night again at the Crow family home. And then in the morning, I think we are making our way into the city.
Making our way downtown.
So we're going to go back to Styx, and we're going to try to enter the sewers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You leave the Ellsbergs to clean up the mess of the Bark and Buzzard. They say, "Hope you come back in a couple days when we got the place cleaned up." I wonder if any of these boys were local. You hear them kind of muttering to each other as they look over at the slain. And you head back through Emberwood Village to the Crow family home. A squat building which has been built up. Again, it was started out as a one-room cottage, and Tobias Crows built it up with a nice fence and a cozy barn and 2 extra rooms to it. Your family is concerned to hear the news about what happened at the Bark and Buzzard, but not surprised. Moira makes a hearty and delicious meal
Yes.
of roast chicken and leeks. And the children have many, many more questions for all of you, wanting to see displays of your magic and speed and strength. So they keep you up late into the night once again. But once they're tuckered out, you're able to carry them into their beds and bid them good night and actually get a brief moment of privacy in the small quarters of the Crow home.
They're so cute.
Yes, it's. We should come back here more often. I didn't think I'd ever feel that way, but
Who could argue with like a hay bed and a warm meal. Like, what more could you ask for?
It's much better than the mill, where we just have the lists of people who have died carved on the walls, and we sleep.
A
in the
haunting
dirt.
reminder of
It looks
of
like
past
during the
failures.
day, it looks like Moira, Tobias Crow's new wife, went out and spoke to some of her friends in the village and has come back with some quilted blankets for all of you to sleep on. So she actually went out and got some
Oh.
more accoutrements to
So
sleep on.
nice.
So it's a little bit more than just a pile of hay in the common room that she set up for you. Seems like she takes keeping her home quite seriously.
I wonder if we can request a triple layered bunk bed being built out here. That would be nice.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think? I mean, we can ask Styx maybe to. Does he just row back and forth, or
Yeah.
can he take us to the?
You have to catch
sewer
him on a
entrance?
certain
He
day.
can get us
or-
to the sewer entrance,
Yeah.
but it's a bit further up, so I'll have to get up there first and probably get a rope. But generally, yeah, we can get there.
So your plan is to bed down for the night. If you'd like to, you can mark in a long rest.
I would like to.
I was gonna say,
And so to recap, it seems that your plan of action now is to head back into the city and actually make a strike at the inner part of the city. Is that correct?
Yeah. Veo mentioned that, or I guess Veo, you mentioned
yeah,
you have a home base
I do. Yes.
which has been taken over
You did.
Yeah, by
by harpies.
darn harpies. But yeah, no, that was like my home away from home or home in home per se. But yeah, it was a great place. I had all my stuff there. There's a lot of stuff I would love to get back, but yeah, it definitely would need some help with that.
Having a place to hide out inside of the city walls,
Yeah.
where it's most dangerous, could be very beneficial, especially for all of the tasks at hand.
Well, especially since it's above the delirium, and that was the one thing that prevents a lot of people from staying in the city is that they're in the delirium. So if we can have somewhere that somewhat of a vantage point to get out of that,
Above the
that's-
haze. And
The memory flashes in your mind, Veo, of the vicious harpy leader that ousted you from the clock tower.
that darn red dot. Red feathers. That's all I remember. That's why red is my least favorite color.
Red dot?
That's what I call her. It's a red dot that flies around and taunts me from the sky, and can never get it. Never.
Amazing.
so it has a higher AC.
We'll figure that
Just
out.
doing like a figure.
I hope that you can somehow shoot that red dot out of the sky and help me reclaim my
You have a yeah.
fortress.
I'll distract it, and then you hit it with the bow.
We'll
So I can throw my sword at it, but that might be all I can do.
We'll see what we can do.
Okay.
You
But
know,
I
you
will help
have
you.
taken a troll before, so I mean, I hope harpy is like no problem for you.
No problem. You get me into the city, I'll clear I'll make it harpy free since
No, this is a pretty
16,
big journey, though,
33.
that you're all proposing. If we take a look at our map, so it sounds like you're going to head back into the city, probably by following up the river, I would assume, almost entirely the way you came, until you get to, on our map, point 8, which is where Styx's ferry was.
Mhm.
You remember, Veo, that actually all of you remember seeing several sewer entrances there. And then taking the sewer at least until you get into the city walls,
Of course.
or do you plan to take it as far as you possibly can? Because the clock tower is at 12, right in the center of the city. So is your plan to actually take the sewer all the way there?
Are the sewers delirium free?
You would have no way of knowing.
I guess we'll play it by ear once we're in the city and we see what our
Mhm.
situation in the sewers is.
Yeah.
And we've it's been a while, I think, since even Veo's been inside the city.
It's been a bit, and I mean the sewers were not somewhere where I particularly liked going, but it's
that
somewhere
where
where I
all
can
the juicy
generally
rats are?
navigate. So if we are in trouble, the city streets are going to be better, but with the delirium, we're gonna have some problems. So
I think the idea is to get past the wall and then assess our situation and try to figure out where to go from there.
Okay, that sounds like a good plan. Yeah, in its day, Drakkenheim was well known for its engineering marvels, the sewers being one of them. It has a very complex sewer system, both for draining out all the filth of almost 100,000 people and making sure that they have fresh water. But of course, the sewage system and the aqueducts were separate systems in their day. So the way that you're proposing will be through the front of the sewer system. I guess the only thing that you can count your lucky stars on is that there hasn't been a large population making use of the sewer system for about 15 years. So hopefully it's washed its way out.
Reduced levels of poop.
reduced human waste.
But a lot more corpses. It's just clogged full of like when you put
Corpses are
coffee grounds down the.
Monster fecal matter.
We might be able to find rat food. Our companion, who died. He might be in.
Probably mostly
Okay.
tradition.
The next
We find
morning,
his body.
you arise. It's a rather gloomy looking, overcast day, as usual, for these parts. Rising early, your father's already making his way for the getting ready to make for the shop. Moira's prepared a breakfast, and as you head to go, Sebastian, your father, comes to you and says, "Get home safe, son. It's good to have you back in my life, and I don't want you leaving it anytime soon."
Thank you, Father. I'll make sure to come home again soon.
Vale, Polito, you take care of my son,
All right, Papa Carrot Top, we'll do our best.
and you take care of your friends.
Will do.
And
Yes, sir, Tobias.
and as you pass by Sybil and Emma, the two young daughters, say, "Bring us back some treasure."
I'll do my best. I'll find something amazing for you guys. That's my mission.
They might have like a
Uh-oh.
very low bar too, so almost anything.
It's true. I'll just find them like a rock.
I will bring you back a harpy feather if I can.
Ooh.
They look completely beaming at the idea of having feathers.
Did you just outdo me with my own siblings? I'll bring you back a rock from the city streets.
It's probably got delirium all over it.
It might kill you. Maybe that's a bad
Oh,
thing.
Lord.
Don't give your siblings delirium.
Please,
Don't
please.
worry, I'll give
Keep
you
well
the
away
feathers.
from children.
Keep out of children.
Keep-
Okay. Setting out, you take the hike along the Champions Road towards Drakkenheim again. Approaching Drakkenheim by the Champions Way, which was once the most common way for long-distance travelers to come into the city, the market gates to the north the area where you were around earlier in our adventures, was the most popular entrance for locals. But for people traveling from Illyria or Caspia, you would have come into Drakkenheim through the Champions Road. And the city itself looms large as you walk up the Champions Way, because this is the view where the rise of the city cliffs is the most dramatic. You see essentially the city out in front of you with the castle rising up on the cliffs, and it's the most imposing view of the castle because you see it right head on rising in the distance as you crest the hill from Emberwood Village. All the slate rooftops, the broken, whether they're broken or still intact in the distance, the walls of Drakkenheim, and of course the many, many spires of the various churches and cathedral, most prominent of which is the Cathedral of St. Vitruvio. And so as you approach Drakkenheim from the Champions Way, the trifecta, like the three crowns of Drakkenheim, the old mage tower of the Amethyst Academy, the Cathedral of St. Vitruvio, and Castle Draken, all kind of loom large like points on a crown, and the whole city looks like almost this big thorny crown that's rising up over the cliff face itself from this direction. It's a very imposing sight, made all the more eerie by the fact that the clouds overhead, as you get closer to Drakkenheim, they get darker. They take on this purplish sheen, and as you get close to the city, a light fog has settled in. There's a bit of rain, but once you get close, the rain is largely past for the day, which will be good because you'll be heading down into the sewers, and lots of rain in the storm system is not a very good, fun thing to have to deal with. You approach the outskirts of the Spokes, the most expansive part of Drakkenheim outside the city walls, as the old abandoned farmsteads once more give way into tightly packed tenement buildings, little boroughs with around churches, old ruined shops, and tumbling down buildings. You make your way from the Champion's Way along one of the side streets towards the Duran River to follow it up along the quay so that you can get directly to where Styx keeps the other side of the ferry. And of course, sure enough, after several hours of travel, you come upon the quay where you left Styx last. And the old undead ferryman is sitting there in his boat, exactly where you left him last time.
Styx! Did you miss me?
How do you two feel about this sight?
So, Styx, you been back and forth a lot, or just hanging out here waiting for us? That's what I thought.
As uncomfortable as this whole place makes me, this is kind of par for the course. So I accept my undead riverboat ferryman, and pay him in what did we copper? I'll give him a copper piece this time.
So you can give him some copper, but I owe Styx. Last time, all I had was some fish bones. It wasn't very much. So I'm going to give you a whole gold piece. Because you know what, Styx? We need you to do us a bit of a favor. So, see that? Well, it's a bit far. But when we get closer, we're not going to go to the dock that we normally go to. But you mind taking us over to a sewer grate?
The zombie looks at you with a glassy stare.
So I'm going to take that as a yes. Awesome. All right, we're good.
I place a smooth round stone in his hand this time.
Vale?
Stone what?
I don't think he can tell the difference between a copper piece and a stone that's the same size as a copper piece.
The zombie looks down at the stone, sees the flat round stone, and goes, and like the sinews of his face try to like curl into a smile as he pulls the stone back and skips it. And it skips 4 times before landing with a splash in the water.
Bravo!
That's good.
That was
I think
impressive.
my
for
record for a skip
man of your
is 3 times.
age.
No, it was with actual
Dexterity.
stone.
It looks like one of
I
his
gotta,
fingers
like,
also came off with the stone.
When I go I actually find police like
See,
little
now
sand.
how is he going to roll properly?
He'll be fine. I hop in the
and
boat.
they're a lot more easier to skip.
Well, I'm glad you trust him as much as I do. Yeah.
He got us across last time without a problem.
He did. He's a great...
Listen, if he's a friend of yours, I'm good. Even if he's a little rotting or not rotting.
He's just aged.
Falling apart a bit.
He's like a fine wine.
Interesting.
Is this the best he's ever been? What was he like alive?
Taking Veo's gold, he begins to row across the Duran River. That's this in his slow and sluggish but steady way. Very clearly straightly bound for his usual pier, though.
Wow. All right, Pluto, we're gonna need you to help him out a little bit, like last time.
I'm looking. So Veo, where's the sewer entrance?
I think it's a little bit
So I'm gonna take
to the right.
Okay, so I'm gonna take, I guess, the appropriate, or I'm trying to think orientation wise, like the left one, and I'm gonna just
Make sure you get the right orientation. Or
Because you're backwards.
orientation.
No time for
Oh.
jokes. This is a serious matter. If I go the wrong way, if I do another circle.
Like if you're facing backwards, you want to be on this side. Go
Cool.
backwards.
Can I? Do I know the right side?
Yeah,
I like do the wind thing. Which way? Am
as folk Styx is a very simple man, and taking the second oar, you're able to kind of like, as you paddle, kind of pull it further off course. And by the time he notices that it's off course, you're already pulling it back off course again. And after a short while, the boat crosses the Dran River, and you're about no more than 30 meters from the sewer entrance that you spotted before. His own pier is quite close to this entrance anyways. And so you come upon essentially the Dran River all through the city and up around here has all been built up like a stone pier or quay. So the river banks themselves originally generations ago would have just been marsh, but the people of Drakkenheim long ago built up over them, and the riverbanks have been artificially built over. And so they rise up about 10 feet over the water level, where you can see periodically there are arches where the sewer main line, the exit points of the sewer are put. And there's several along the way, but this is the largest one that you can see on this in this area, and it's the closest, largest one to the city walls.
Now, before we start to go in the sewer, there's a fishing line in the back of the boat. I want to check it and see if there's any catch before we get up there. So I didn't feel any tugging, but you never know.
Sadly, there is not. In
Okay.
fact, the fishing hook is gone.
Oh,
Oh.
sorry, Styx. Use that gold to pick up some more fishing materials before.
Yes, next
I
time
don't
you
think
make it
you'll
to
use
the
that
market,
spot.
Styx.
He's got it. Use a finger. It's fine. Or is there anywhere? So are we up against the side?
So as you come to the sewer entrance here, what it looks like is this. It looks like a large cave that's been artificially built. So it's an arched entranceway that is in line with the water line.
Oh.
And so the water goes right in, but you can actually see that the water is flowing out from this area. It's a light trickle, but it is flowing away from it. And it goes underground about 10 feet before there's a large grate that's been built into the wall where it's raised above the water level, and there's a drainage pipe about 5 feet wide that has sewer grates built into it that have been smashed to pieces. And so the sewer grating itself is like a portcullis. It's about 20 feet underground from the water, but still above the water line. Make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're able to get from the boat. Like, can we move the boat into this kind of tunnel?
With some cajoling with Mr. Styx, yes. As you come up to the water here is kind of this brackish green. You can see the algae collecting in the water above. It's very muddy looking. It flows a little bit, but there's very clearly plant life and algae that's growing up around here, and a fair amount of just dirt and waste. As you approach, it smells, but not like human or animal waste, more like water that's been like still water that's been left to stay in dirt. So it smells like mud, still water, and that kind of that musky, humid underground smell.
Is there a bit of a platform before the sewer grate? Or?
There is not.
Okay.
You want to send Pluto? Are you able to get close to that sewer grate and Give it a little jiggle. See if we can get in.
It's been smashed open.
Oh, it's smashed
Yeah.
open. Sorry. Okay.
I still jiggle it, but yeah, we're gonna. I jiggle it.
I would tell you to go first, but I just want you to be careful with all your armor. If you misstep, you might sink into the river.
Clump, 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 clump. I'll go first. I ain't scared of no river. Ah, river.
Okay. You step in through the grate, and what are you going to use for a light source? Because there's none down here.
Well, not my eyes like you two.
It's like, oh yeah, we need light for him.
I'll use my my trusty dusty torch.
I mean, I do have this orb that we picked up in the rat's nest.
What's it do?
I don't know.
Is it glowing?
Is it a torch?
Might be.
Then
It was glowing when we found it. I can't seem to make it glow anymore, but I don't know. I like try to fiddle with that orb a bit.
Make an Arcana check.
20.
As you palm the orb, you realize that it twists slightly in two different directions, almost through an invisible axis in the center. And as you do so, there's a small click, and the orb illuminates. You realize that as you twist it a little bit more, it changes what color it is.
Oh.
And once you finish twisting it, the orb suddenly rises up out of your hands and floats about 2 feet away from you in the air.
Told you. Need a light?
What color do you set it to?
Orange.
Okay.
To match my hair.
like a pumpkin orange.
Yeah.
So an area of orange light emanates from the glowing orb, and it follows you about floating a little about 5 feet away from you at most.
Can I make it float with Pluto rather than me?
Fiddling around for a few moments, you catch it, and if you pass it to Pluto and he activates it, it'll follow him.
You're going to need this more than me. I can see in the dark, and so can Veo.
Oh,
but
thanks.
if you need a floating torch, there you go. But I want it back in good condition.
I'm gonna try it. Can I give him can I get like the the quick start guide?
Yeah.
On how
Yep.
to use I'm gonna make it blue though.
Okay.
Caspian blue. Not this
The
orange.
blue light is quite dark overall. When it's set to a blue color, it's more of a shadowy illumination rather than full illumination. But it's enough to see by.
Okay.
Yeah.
Helps us a little bit too.
Helps us stay hidden.
Mm-hmm.
So are we...
And then I'm gonna
in
start to
here?
proceed
Yes, you are.
through the sewer.
Okay. So, we are now in the sewers of Drakkenheim. The sewers here, you walk down a large, long sewer channel. The way that it's been constructed is it's roughly oblong circular in shape with a long drain tunnel in the middle. So this part of the sewer, as you come through the drainage grate, it opens up to be about 12 feet wide at its widest, and it's a circular, it's curved up in the ceiling as well. And then there's a drainage gully in the middle that's about 5 feet wide, and is slowly kind of ramping upwards at a very, very slight incline. The gully in the center is roughly 4 feet deep, enough that this whole opening, when it got to the sewer grate, it would have lined up with it perfectly, but it's actually widening as you get deeper in. Here and there, you can actually see that there, as you walk forward, there are holes in the ceiling or the sides of the ceilings where much smaller pipes would drain in, and you can see bits of water leaking down. You can hear the drip, 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 and here and there you'll actually hear a longer drain, like of water falling down a gutter pipe into the main line here, and then it drains out and goes back out towards the river. As I said before, it doesn't stink like sewage so much as this musky underground odor of still water and dirt and degraded stone. While there are bits of refuse here and there, the water has really ground down most of the sewer, and you can see that the stone in many
That's the
places
word
is
you don't hear
discolored because
often.
it's been underwater for so long without any proper maintenance. And as you go further, eventually you come to this intersection here where after traveling about 200 feet, and Veo, it's difficult to tell, but with your sense of the city, you guess that you're right under Temple Road right now.
Okay.
Because the sewer widens significantly here, and it heads off the long way that's heading away from me, is heading roughly in the direction of the city walls. There's at the edge here, this is another drain gate that is draining out to a smaller tunnel about the same size as the one that you came through. But this very wide channel at the intersection, the depth of the channel in the center is about 5 feet deep. And then there are the two raised sections on either side of the sewer, and then it curves up. So the whole thing, if you could look at it like a cross section, it would almost look like a circle with then kind of this chin attached to it, right? If you could see the cross section of what the tunnel looks like. Again, all throughout here, there are secondary drains that have a trickle of water. In one place, there's a bit of blood draining down, what you think might be blood. And once in a while, you do see piles of droppings or refuse, or a stray limb.
Anybody need a hand?
I'm not sure you said that.
Huh?
I turn to the group and say, well, it could be worse. It could be.
I mean, when I came back to Drakkenheim, I won't lie, I did not anticipate us traversing the sewer systems filled with blood drainage and limbs, but here we are, and oddly enough, it doesn't seem that out of place these days. So
Yeah. Doesn't phase me really. Limbs are kind of scattered all around, especially as you start to get into the city.
great. Veo, you've been in these sewers before since the fall of Drakkenheim.
Yeah, but I really try to stay out of here because this is probably not my easiest vantage point to get into the city, but it's the easiest way for us to get in.
Besides the obvious rat problem that Drakkenheim has, which has lost us a few people over our time here,
Yeah, well, I'm not sure why Whale isn't
what else uses these sewers? Have you
doesn't
seen
use the
anything?
sewers that much.
I really haven't come across other than ratlings and rats, but that doesn't mean that there isn't something down here. I mean,
ability
to be honest, anything could, and if people
her
wanted to
Boomstalker
find a
ability
sneaky way in,
to
you never know who you're going to
evade
come
the
across.
vision.
Let's remain
Ability to
cautious.
evade dark vision is
As
should
always,
be
I remain cautious.
overpowered in
I'm
those.
saying that more for me and Pluto, but
I pick up the arm.
You have an arm.
Just waving it around.
I'm adding it to my equipment.
Just like tie it to like a belt or just a random arm.
I have a plan for this arm.
It looks like it might have once belonged to a dwarf.
Oh, is there any rings on it?
Hairy arm.
A wristwatch?
There is a plain-looking wedding band on it.
Oh. That was a.
are you going to take the wedding band?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, because I was going to. He doesn't need it anymore. It's clearly in the sewers. This is where waste goes.
Yeah, he threw it out.
One man's waste is
But you
another man's free wedding ring.
Waste. You think he just tossed his arm down and be like, I don't need this anymore.
Yeah,
Listen.
maybe he thought that if he wanted a divorce, it was like the fastest way to chop his arm up. It wasn't my fault, my arm. Anyways,
Okay,
but I keep the arm.
who's going to lead the way?
I do.
Okay, are you going to
Wait.
climb up onto the the walkways or take the central channel in the middle.
So, are you gonna say take my new armor and walk in 4 feet of still water, or walk on the walkways?
I didn't say that the channel was full of water.
Oh, it's just
It's
4 feet
not.
deep.
The channel itself is 4 feet deep.
Ooh, okay.
But the trickle of water here is. But there's only a trickle of water here.
okay.
It's very muddy and dusty where it's not muddy. And so there's that kind of like where it's not muddy, it's dusty, but it's pretty much muddy and wet everywhere down here. But it's not like if you're walking in the central channel, you're not trudging through 4 feet of water. In fact, most of it is settled sediment and the remnants of whatever was carried through here last. Considering how much it's been raining lately, it immediately strikes you as odd.
What about tracks? Is there obvious tracks in the channel?
There are several sets of tracks. Give me a survival check.
14. 1-4.
You can see the signs of what looks like large, round, dragging footprints. Several of them, and the footprints of several what are probably ratlings.
There's rats in this sewer.
What are those big round ones?
Oh no. Maybe it's a rat on stilts.
Are the round ones look like they're dragged?
No, they're lifting themselves.
Lifting? Okay.
Yep.
Like maybe we do stay on the walkway to stay off the.
I know that you're going first because you're our muscle, but do you trust your senses down here?
Well, if one of you guys want to go ahead,
I think I should go first.
I can
just
be
to
the
make sure.
I can be the loud one.
I think I want you to maybe scout.
Yeah.
We have a long hallway ahead of us around this corner, and I'm nervous.
The grate to our immediate left.
Mm-hmm.
Is it also destroyed, or is it pretty secured?
It is intact. And looking at it, you can see that at the base of the channel in front of it, it looks like some sort of creature might have dug some sort of nest there at one time out of the sand and mud. Possibly, and looking down at it, it looks like there's several eggshells broken around over there.
Am I able to
A sewer mongoose.
investigate or some sort of? I want to look at it and
Mhm.
do I know what kind of animal it might be?
Give me a nature check.
Nature.
Are you trained in nature?
No, I'm not.
Okay, you can give me a check, but it's a long shot.
I got a 5.
A 5. The only thing that they look like at closer inspection is they don't look like bird eggs, but more reptile eggs.
Friends, these are not bird eggs.
Yeah, they're too large to be. They're too large for that, and the shells are much thicker.
I really just hope it's turtles and not freaking gators or something like that.
Something else to
Or
watch out
live-
here for if it's
Reptiles.
not birds.
Perfect.
Well, why
Oh,
would
that makes
birds?
sense.
Why would birds
Turtles?
be in the sewers?
Then again, we don't
Hey.
know what those.
Yeah, you really made some excellent conclusions with your eggonomy. Egg and not.
Listen,
egg.
I'm
And
just here to
the
help.
big, thick, circular tracks lead to this nest and then lead away.
Turtles.
We either have giant sewer birds or possibly reptiles.
I walk up beside him to
It's
also
the
take a look at them as
tortoises.
well.
You
And
Are you proficient in
round
nature?
foot.
Damn.
Yeah, that
Okay.
tortoise.
You can looking at these.
16.
These are turtle eggs.
Like I said,
Not birds.
not birds.
Yeah, but turtles,
Turtle.
maybe. You never know, especially with these big feet. You know, something to consider.
You're welcome.
Looking at the sewer grate, several of the bars have been broken out, and there are several smaller tracks of whatever hatch going out through this grate. You surmise that a ratling or a halfling could almost certainly squeeze through this part of the sewer grate, but this leads into a smaller drain tunnel that goes away from the city walls.
Okay.
You're welcome to pursue this way if you would like to, but it is absolutely in the opposite direction of the city.
Let's mark it on our sewer map that we're obviously recording
You're-
this whole
Who
time.
are you gonna survey the sewers?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And because maybe this is like a in my legend I write eggs and hole. It's an egg hole.
Egg in a
Egg
hole?
hole? Okay.
Um,
I hope you keep drawing this sewer map so we can show it next week on the stream.
I accept the challenge.
Let's go towards the city,
Yeah.
guys.
And I think I'm gonna stay. Like one thing we could do is maybe I'll stay on the opposite side of Veo. So yeah,
So
and
the
then
light's a
that
little bit
way
less intense.
We'll all be in the middle.
You're gonna go in
are
the
you
middle.
gonna go down down in the little trench?
I'll walk in the mud.
Okay.
And then that way, if I hope to keep the illumination just to the one side from the globe.
Right. I'm gonna start to go ahead just a little bit to scout, and as I'm going, I walk a couple feet forward, and I want to like kind of observe if there's any more tracks as I go. So I'm trying to slowly go and trying to figure out where the tracks are going, knowing that this is the direction towards the city.
Sure. There are several more pairs of rat tracks following in the central gullet, but then about halfway forward, they get back up onto the walkway and they disappear in the stone. And by disappear in the stone, I mean like once they're on the solid stone, there's very little trace
You
of
don't
them
see
left.
it.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey guys, coming up here where the tracks go off, Sebastian, you may want to get out of the center.
One thing that you do notice is that as the tracks go off, the amount of mud and dirt in the gullet going forward is significantly less. It's like the buildup of all the sediment and dirt was collecting towards the end of the passageway rather than the front ends of the passageway.
Interesting.
I follow the footprints off of the
Okay.
middle.
Is there a chance that maybe the water runs in reverse somewhere? Like maybe maybe all of the water that's draining into is coming from one of the holes.
Well, the water would be carrying anything in the direction towards me, right?
Because it's
right.
that
So
slant, right?
Yeah. So it's slanted slightly, right? So if it's it's not unreasonable to assume if it's depositing anything like the sand or mud, it would collect over here towards the end rather than being swept away. But it is a conspicuous lack.
Let's keep moving.
What about the hole right above it? Like the drain holes.
The drain holes going forward. There are more drain holes, and bits of water and mud and droppings are collected in those areas. There's a few puddles further down the tunnel. You'll have to keep going to see more.
So
Keep
I
going.
continue forward slowly, and again checking for any signs of footprints in the center, but any signs of life along the walls as well.
Looking for signs of life along the walls.
Yeah, signs of like anyone who may have touched the walls or anything that may be out of place in terms of this is an area where things settle, so if anything's been disturbed.
Sure. You move along looking through it. And everything is pretty solidly constructed going forward. And there's no sort of like it's held up remarkably well.
Okay.
Yep. But the tracks have stopped.
Sebastian casually walks up to this corner.
Cool.
As I'm like looking on the like ground for
You're
tracks.
being like super sneaky and like checking for things, and Sebastian's just like, I'm gonna go look
Seems
around
okay.
the corner. It seems fine here, and I just stroll up. hopefully there's no traps. I just stroll ahead and to the corner, and then I kind of like push myself against the wall and look around. I look around the corner to see what's going on there.
Are you coming up as well?
Yeah, yeah.
So like me or moving?
Put me halfway.
Okay. So as you move forward, Sebastian, you look down. This is a short pipe, goes about 20 feet to the south again, before ending in another drain. This pipeline doesn't have any walkways along the side. The gullet just goes straight down, and it doesn't look the gullet down here is completely clean.
If I kind of drop down, and if I move forward and kind of peer through this grate, where does it seem to go?
Okay. As you move forward,
Yes.
you walk forward, and all of a sudden, the air right in front of you gets really thick. And you push forward into it, and something's pulling, and there's this sucking noise in the air right in front of you. And you are surprised, and I'm going to have you all roll for initiative.
Oh, good. You're welcome, guys. It's what Sebastian does best.
It's a giant vacuum.
Guys, there seems to be some sort of passage here. It's making a sucking noise.
It's probably a Dyson.
Vea, what did you get?
12.
Vea, what did you get? 12. Sebastian, what did you get?
10.
Pluto?
14. 1-4.
Do any of you have a passive perception higher than 15 or higher? Okay, you are
14.
you are
No.
all surprised.
Oh.
As Sebastian, you walk face first into a gelatinous cube.
Of course, there's a cube there.
We're putting him in. Should I put him inside?
Not yet.
Oh,
You just hear the
So you walk right forward. Okay.
Oh,
So you are, because you walked right into it, you are actually immediately subjected to the engulf of the gelatinous cube. And so I need you to make a dexterity saving throw with disadvantage.
Oh. You can do it.
We believe. We believe.
Oh no.
that's a 3.
It's a 3. So Sebastian, you are engulfed by the gelatinous cube immediately, and you take 10 points of acid damage.
Oh. Twist.
I try to yell for help, but I think I'm.
Yeah. And Pluto and Vea, Pluto can see this because basically, Pluto, you see the air almost shivering and quivering as you realize that this gelatinous cube was almost invisible, hiding in the corner there.
Nope, I can't get it.
Oh no, the vacuum. It got him.
So I'm just floating in this cube. I like walk and I like go to peer in the grate, and then all of a sudden I'm just like floating, and yeah, I'm inside of a gelatinous cube. There's a lot of. Is there anything else inside of this gelatinous cube? Like now, do I notice like a floating skeleton next to me?
Yeah, the remains of a former ratling.
Oh.
So yeah, I don't know if anyone's seen these before, but these are the WizKids gelatinous cube minis, and they are so cool because you can open them up and place the engulfed miniature.
You can
You can just place Sebastian right in there. and
Right in
then,
there.
It's so perfectly.
And then there he is. There he is inside of the gelatinous cube, dying.
Oh.
Dying from acid.
Yep.
Acid death.
It burns. I mean,
Are the goggles helping?
The goggles, they do nothing. Okay. So
There you go.
So Sebastian, it's the cube's turn,
Oh, good.
and you are going to take another 10 acid damage at the start of its turn.
Oh man.
And it rolls out into the intersection and lumbers towards Paluto.
How far can it move?
It spends its entire action doing that. So it moves, and then it moves one more full movement towards Paluto. Yeah, and it just is quivering and like as it like it's perfectly contoured to the inside of the.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh no! How tall is it?
It's 10 feet tall, so it actually stretches up over the channel.
Oh man!
I need help.
Paluto, it's your turn. So yeah, that was the engulf was the surprise of the cube. Then you all go through a turn of being surprised, and then now it's Paluto.
Can I see? I can see Sebastian, right?
You can see him getting horribly dissolved inside this cube. He looks like he is alive. You can try to reach in and grab him.
I'm gonna get my herald out. I reach into the cube and I want to grab the closest part of Sebastian.
Okay. Because you're reaching down into the channel, give me a strength check with advantage.
17.
You rip Sebastian out of the cube.
Oh my god. It burns.
In the process, though, you take 7 acid damage.
Oh.
I accept your acid damage, and I want to. Can I carry Sebastian? Can I be
Sure.
like-
I'll say that you can move half your speed, dragging him away.
And I'm gonna action surge, and I'm just gonna burst down. Like I'm gonna just like fireman kind of carry him
Fireman
down
carry
the
him
like
down.
panic running past.
Where are you carrying me?
Just that way,
That
just
way.
as fast as we could, as far as we can go.
Okay.
I'm gonna dash with him.
Okay.
I'm like on your shoulder. My clothes are basically melted.
As you try to run away, the cube is going to lash out at you with its pseudopod because I'm going to say you provoke an opportunity attack, but it only gets an 11 to hit.
Yes, I nimbly.
Veo, it's your turn.
I go. Well, it's a good thing that you're safe, because let's get out of here. And I turn and I dash.
Wait,
Wait, I also got using my feline agility, and that's double. So
booking it and
yeah,
down the.
it's like 120 feet. I think I can get, and I kind of
Are
like
we just leaving?
veer sideways. I'm like,
we
this
can
way,
regroup.
and
We
I
can
start to
regroup.
like
We just-
run away. I'm like, we're out of here.
And it just
I think I
almost
can get all the way to
murdered
the end,
you.
actually.
You're asking me while I'm dragging you. What are we just gonna run
Yeah,
away?
I'm over your shoulder and you're running, and I'm just like, wait, we're running? I had that.
Yeah, you had the whole situation.
The
under
situation
control.
was under control. I was going to defeat it from the inside. It's my turn. I'm actually not going to run. I turn.
So you're running. So like,
I'm
Paluto
on-
has you over his shoulders, and you're turning around. And
I'm
what do you
on
do?
his shoulder,
Yeah.
slumped over, and I point and I firebolt it.
Okay.
Getting a 20.
That hits.
Awesome.
It's about as hard to hit the cube as the broadside of a barn.
I do 4 damage.
It takes 4 fire damage.
Take that, foul beast.
Okay, back to the top with the cube.
No!
Okay, so the cube's only has a speed of 15 feet, so it slithers forward, and then you see it kind of contract itself inward, and then kind of raise up and put itself on the side of so it's half in the gullet, half not. Like it's now turned into a gelatinous L.
like a Tetris block.
Yeah, like a Tetris block. And it slides forward towards you, Paluto, another 15 feet. Does it get all the way there? No, it just gets right up to him. And so that
God.
it's used its action and its movement, so that it dashed. So that's all. That's all the cube does. It's right up at you, Paluto.
Oh
What are
my
you gonna
God.
do?
And I'm still holding Sebastian.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
You can
Really?
set me down.
All you hear is Vale, run away!
Set me down and fight.
Can I drop him without?
Yes, you can. You can
Okay.
set him down.
I'm gonna just like let him fall off my shoulder, and I'm gonna turn around, and I'm just gonna take a swing at the cube with my sword.
All right, do it to it.
20 for 9 damage.
Okay. So you slice into the cube and you cut into it like jello. And like it just quivers and then the slice like closes up but a little bit falls away. Would you like to do anything else?
I'm going to. I mean, do I want to stand my
Excuse me,
ground
I'm
against the
sorry.
cube? I'm gonna back up another 15 feet.
Okay, that will provoke an opportunity attack.
I
from the
will
cube.
accept it.
It gets a 21 to hit
Ow!
for 4 acid damage. Ah! As it lashes out, kind of like the cut that you make splashes back at it.
And so you set me down and run past me, and now I'm back face to face with the cube.
And I'm yelling, "Run!
Run away!
Because you were squiggling, you were like wiggling too much. So I
Yeah.
couldn't carry you anymore.
Veo, it's your turn.
So I realize that I'm like way ahead of you, and I'm like, oh crap, these guys need some help. So I do Zephyr Strike. So I still want to get away from the cube, and I move back 30 feet so I can see.
Okay.
I take my shot with my longbow against the cube, knowing full well I'm like, let's give them a distraction.
Thank you.
And oh, I get advantage because of the Zephyr Strike, and I get a 21.
So your arrow hits the side of the cube, and there's like it's like a puncture wound, like a boil's been lanced, and this jet of acid just goes plash all over the sewer.
Oh,
Yes.
nice.
It's like that clear gelatin like acid, right? Like it's gross. It's kind of like
I'm sorry.
when a sore or a wound is like leaking that clear fluid coming out of it. It's really gross.
And
Refer to
that's,
YouTube for more
9
examples.
damage.
Good stuff.
And then I turn back and run back to where I was.
I'm real sorry about the.
Okay.
Because
Yeah.
I'm getting out of there.
Sebastian,
Oh.
you are in front of the cube again.
Realizing his situation and no longer feeling super confident, he like kind of tumbles into the center and like clambers his way over to
Okay.
this side.
Give me an acrobatics check.
Oh no, I used too many descriptive words.
Did you have to cartwheel?
I get a 5.
So as you go over the ledge, you trip and slip and land on your face.
Oh no, guys.
You can use the rest of your movement to stand up if you want to, but that's all you can do.
No action.
You can still take an action though, but
Okay.
basically you slip, you fall in, you spend the rest of
I
your
fall
movement standing.
face first in the mud.
Yeah.
I stand up and look around first to see if anybody saw that, and
I saw
everybody
it.
saw
Everyone
it.
saw
Every-
it.
everybody
Even the
saw it.
cube.
And then I
Especially-
fire another firebolt at the cube. 12?
You only need a 6 to hit a gelatinous cube.
Hurrah! I
Big
do
old cube.
I do one solid point of fire damage to that cube.
Okay. And the cube slides directly forward towards both of you, spending its action to dash. Spending its action to engulf. So it moves at speed, and both of you can make a dexterity saving throw.
Hopefully I do better. Oh, that's better. 18.
Now this is a weird question, but can I, using Shield Master, I can add my dex to saving throws, but only when it targets me. would I be able to use my shield to increase my dex save? Like if I impose my
In
shield.
this case, it's trying to like. It's just if you impose your shield, it's just gonna slither right
No,
over
it
it.
just goes through my
Yeah,
shield.
yeah.
Well, it wouldn't have.
Okay.
I got a 5.
So you try to do that anyways. And Sebastian, you leap out of the way as the cube engulfs. As the cube engulfs Pluto.
Oh no.
Pluto, you take 8 acid damage from being engulfed. And it is your turn.
Can I?
And at the start of your turn, you take another 8 acid damage.
Oh.
Pluto's hurting. Can I swing my sword inside the cube?
You are restrained while you are in the cube, but you are not prevented from acting.
Can I?
You can try to escape. You can swing your sword. The only thing is that you're restrained, so you have disadvantage on attack rolls, and dexterity saving throws and attack rolls against you have advantage.
Then I got to get out, so I'm gonna try to get out of the cube.
Okay, give me a strength check to claw your way out.
A 14.
You barely manage to you slide into the cube, and Sebastian's like getting to his feet, and all of a sudden he sees your hand like jut forward out of the cube as you pull yourself out with a scream and land on the ground right beside him.
Imagine just the gel like around your face as you're coming.
I guess
out.
we shouldn't shut the cube that tight because
The shield did nothing.
We
How
seem to be
far
getting-
can I move?
You can move your full speed. You've used your
away.
action, but you can move.
I'm gonna use. Okay, so I've used my action. I can move. I'm gonna take another hit, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Oh, okay. I gotta do it. So I'm gonna run into the corner.
The
Like
cube
this
only
corner?
gets a 7 to hit you with its opportunity attack.
Okay. Yeah. And then can I repost it? Can I throw my sword behind?
And riposte as it makes an opportunity
Yeah.
attack? Absolutely. Yeah.
You said yeah. So I got 16 to hit.
Yeah.
20 damage.
What?
Nice.
You carve deeply, and like there's kind of like this splosh as a huge amount of the cube just starts leaking out of the cut in the side of it, and the gelatinous cube is bloodied.
Acid
is,
deed?
is leaking.
Oh, he used a
And my final thing is I want a second wind,
down
Okay.
that.
and then I'm good. I'm hurting, but I'm good.
Veo, it's your turn. The cube continues to roll forward, and you've now seen Pluto engulfed by it, and you just see the sight as he rips his way out of the cube, and Sebastian narrowly dodges his way out of it. The two of them are like, there's like acid burns all over them, like parts of their clothing and his new armor have like corroded in certain places. They're not looking very good.
Oh no. Okay. I just turn around and I'm like, guys, run towards me, and I just take my longbow and I take a shot.
Okay,
It's a 13 hit.
that's enough.
And
Hitting that.
Did you apply
broadside.
sharpshooter to this one?
I did not.
Okay.
No. 6 damage.
Every little bit helps. Gonna kill.
And I keep yelling at
It-
them, run towards me!
Just so you know, if you want to say sharpshooter is on by default and declare when you're not using it, I'm totally okay with that.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So for the future.
Cool. Yeah, that would be helpful, definitely.
Sebastian, you're up.
All right. I'm gonna once again. I feel like my dodge out of the way was not graceful. Like I'm just rolling in mud and
You
I'm
feel that way?
slipping.
You-
Yeah, I'm just falling all over the place. So I like stumble run down this hallway,
Okay.
and then
You can go a lot further than that, though, if you want to.
and then I fire another firebolt behind me.
Okay.
11,
Yeah, I actually think you guys only miss it on a 1.
and yeah, I do 3 more damage.
Okay.
Fire.
That's the turn for Sebastian. So the gelatinous cube slithers off the deck and seeing that it's got 2 potential meals right in front of it, it spends its whole turn slithering directly towards both of you.
Oh.
How are you gonna get
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Paluto, you're up, buddy.
I'm gonna come up behind the old cube, and I say, I was gonna do something about a rhombus. No, I'm just gonna hit it. I'm just gonna hit it. Trying to come up with a clever. Oh, I almost crit. But yeah, I definitely hit for 7 more damage.
Alrighty. The cube quivers on as it's leaking from several gashes and punctures in the sides of it. Vale, you're up. The cube is like right in front of you. Right behind you,
Yep.
Styx has paddled away. So right now,
Sticks.
as you look back, there's the entrance to the sewer, and you're looking at water on one side and a cube on the other.
I'm
that's
just gonna
bad
give
water.
it all I got. I'm like, okay, and I take my bow out. And I'm you sharpshooter
Excuse
on
me.
this one, and
Hey,
6.
That's exactly what you need. It is an AC of 6.
One time I used sharpshooter, I almost don't make hitting the cube.
Right in front of you. It's worth it. Worth it.
So, 15 damage,
Nice.
and I'm just like, you literally see me back against this grate because I'm just like, oh god. Cube of
Okay,
water.
the cube is still going.
Vale, how
Sebastian.
poisonous did you say this water is?
Very poisonous, but probably not as poisonous and acidic as that cube.
Oh God.
What a dilemma.
I run to the.
So you're right beside the cube. So I will get an opportunity attack if you move from there, Sebastian. Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and take that opportunity attack.
Okay, the cube gets a 13 to hit.
I use shield.
Okay. Ooh.
So I like deflect it with my magical shield, and I run to the entrance,
Mm-hmm.
and I turn around, and I'm going to firebolt it again.
Okay.
I'm just blasting it with fire. Yes, I hit
Yes.
for 4
don't you have
more
a
damage.
stronger
Nice.
spell?
Okay.
What?
As the
Don't you
firebolt
have a stronger fire
strikes
spell?
into it, the cube quivers some more, and like parts of it are scorched and roasting, but it still continues forward.
It's March.
Sebastian calls out, "Pluto, are you okay back there?"
Yes.
Okay, and then I dive into the water.
I'm just like, wait,
No.
Okay. The
Are you
gelatinous
okay?
cube. The gelatinous cube comes forward towards Vale, engulfing
Wait,
Vale.
I want to hit it.
You get an opportunity. to attack it.
Sentinel. Uh-oh.
get it.
Uh-oh. I get a 16, and I do 13 more damage, and its speed is 0.
You bisect the cube, splitting it into 2 gelatinous rectangles, which pop and melt just
He
at the
didn't
edge
need
of
to
the cube.
dive
Like,
into the water.
you're
He
you're,
didn't
you're like
need to
tiptoeing
dive
on the
into
edge
the
of the water, and the cube's coming right up towards you, and all of a sudden it just splits in half, and there's this splash of acid and steam, and you just see Paluto lowering his blade on the other side.
And all I go is, thanks.
Hey, where's Sebastian?
My head pops up from the water, and I'm like, "We had that handled from the start. Good job, good job, guys."
Now, what effects do you have on the water?
I crawl my way back out of the water.
Oh, no.
Oh my gosh. Are you poisoned a little bit?
Yeah, you crawl up, you stumble forward.
How many limbs do you
I
have?
stumble forward, like bleeding and
You
acid.
jumped in
Doesn't
the
matter.
water, eh?
Yeah.
Give me a Constitution check.
Oh no.
A save?
Yeah, saving throw.
18.
Okay, you are not poisoned.
Oh,
That water wasn't that bad. I
It
feel
was
a little
disgusting.
sick. I go into the corner and puke for a while.
I'm gonna sit down on the edge
Sorry, I'm sorry.
of the like dangling my feet into the pit, just taking a moment.
Well, Sebastian, you're like resting, and you're just here in the background like.
I have to say, the humble gelatinous cube might be my favorite monster in D&D. Every time, I'm like,
Gets you every
should I
time.
use a gelatinous cube? And the answer is always yes.
So,
It
yeah,
is
I
I
sometimes
think it's
will
they're one of the
just to
iconic
take a breath.
monsters.
Because I didn't get any damage, but I'm just like, my heart
Up there
is
with the little
racing.
plus dragons.
I'm like, wow, that's really scary.
I feel like you're telling
You
us that.
hold
You're
it-
like, man, that thing didn't touch me, but my heart is racing, and I'm just there.
We're
And
covered in
Ludo's like,
acid
we're
Bones
burns.
are-
weeping.
We were both living inside that cube at one time. It was part of me. There's no part of my armor that didn't touch the cube.
Did you notice that, like, when you try to talk inside of a gelatinous cube, it goes everywhere. It was in everywhere.
It's in everything.
I mean, the guide of the city for you, am not above saying that I think we might need a little bit of help here, because if we just got barely into the sewers and squashed by a gelatinous cube, I don't know how much further we're gonna make it on our own.
What are you suggesting?
Well, remember that time we met that
We're-
large
Oh,
rattling prince?
we're halfway there.
The Ghostly Three.
Yeah. He did say he could help us get through the sewer.
I mean, I see your point. A guide might be helpful. We had this covered, but best to be cautious, right?
We have a
I
lot
give
more.
you side eye.
I vomit more acid.
I can hear you, and I don't agree.
I don't. Sebastian doesn't agree with himself either. He just doesn't want to be shamed in front of all of you.
So I mean, we have two options. We can continue down these sewers and potentially get squashed by no more gelatinous cubes that I didn't know were in the sewers. Or we could try to find an alternative route.
I mean, apparently you can just walk into a gelatinous cube and not even know it's there, and that's horrifying. And I don't like these sewers as much as I used to, which was already not a lot. So
Sewer's already not a pleasant place.
The remnants of the cube. Was there anything else that was in the cube? That
Bits of bone that themselves are almost like jelly. Flecks of maybe a hand or a foot. And what you can surmise might be the rest of the dwarf.
Oh.
Oh.
His
I check his
wife's
pockets.
probably looking for him.
Is my arm still holding up? My second arm. My
that,
third arm.
that arm.
Keep in mind that these things are.
was
This is with
safely
the cleaners
secured,
of
but it
dungeons
is
and stuff.
definitely got
It
some.
may
acid
not
burns
actually
on
kill
it.
I'm
them.
just gonna
Just
leave it now.
dealt
I was
with the
gonna use
rain.
it to like set off traps and stuff, but
Oh.
I mean, you did a really great job of that.
that's
Saves
what
the
I
cost of
do.
funeral,
I
really.
help us find traps.
Incident.
There was an incident
Oh,
in the
bad.
sewers.
Another incident.
So you want to leave and go find the Rat Prince and maybe ask him to guide us like he promised?
That would be one option if we can convince him to do so.
Well, especially with all the rat traps.
Can we can you guys carry me part of the way so I can rest? Just carry me with you.
Okay, last time I carried you, you wiggled out of it.
Yeah.
So
I had
so you
fighting
can
to
carry
do.
yourself.
Well, I mean, we do have some potions if
Yeah.
you really need it.
We have had our short rest and recuperated our hit points,
Woo.
and ready to get back at it. But before we do, Kelly's got a few things to say.
Yeah, before we delve back into the ruins again, a big thank you to Axe and Shield for providing us with the awesome gaming accessories we use, and to Tabletop Audio for the great ambient music you're hearing. And finally, 100 Years Bore for the amazing narration in our introduction video. If you're enjoying the stream and want to help support our work, check out our Patreon. You can find it by following the links below or at patreon.com/dungeon_dudes.
And of course, you can always support us through bits or cheers or all this new Twitch stuff that we're still figuring out. So thank you all so much to our new subscribers who have joined us and those who've been cheering us on in chat. Thank you so much, and it's super, super appreciated. We also want to let you know that there's the Dungeons and Dragons team at Wizards of the Coast has teamed up with Adobe for this really cool creative challenge for D&D fans. to create the next official D&D monster called the Terror of the Undermountain. It's to celebrate all the new stuff with Waterdeep, Dungeon of the Mad Mage, and the Ruins of the Undermountain. And it's really cool. You can download these Photoshop templates and a free demo of Photoshop to create a monster of your own making and then submit it. And if you win the contest, you win $5,000, a chance to meet Wizards of the Coast, as well as the monster that you make will get made into a real D&D monster, including a miniature. But straight up, like I was just poking around with the templates and cool stuff in Photoshop, and it's actually like a really cool DM tool.
That's awesome.
Because they give you like all these bits of monster art that you can mix and match together and submit to the contest. So it's summontheterror.com for details on that contest, and check it out because even like the contest is really, really cool, but the tool itself that they put out is really amazing. And I love using Photoshop. That's how we made the maps that you're seeing in Drakkenheim. So it's a really good resource. Like if you're a DM running your own game and you haven't taught yourself how to use Photoshop yet, I actually really highly recommend it. And getting a chance to use it for free is a pretty worthwhile opportunity. So check it out. So before the break, we were delving into the sewers of Drakkenheim, where
there before.
Sebastian ran afoul of a gelatinous cube and had a little bit of head-first contact with said creature. Having been pulled from its quivering mass by Peludo, you fled back down the sewers, where Peludo was also engulfed, but managed to rip his way free, and Veo was also almost engulfed before Peludo managed to hack the creature apart. You sit at the edge of the sewer looking out on the Dran River. Acid burns and covering your flesh, smelling of the sewer water. What do you do?
Sitting on the edge, can we see Styx at all? Like in the distance?
He has rowed back towards his pier. You kind of peek out around, and he's rowed back. Not on the other side, on this side, but he's righted himself. A creature of habit.
I just picture the three of us like just perched, feet dangling towards the water, just like
having one of those like grown-up moments where we just coming of age tale.
Guys, adulting is hard.
So true. Oh,
Well,
okay.
how do we get out of here?
So, I mean, I could try to climb up and put a rope in so that way we don't have to swim all the way around to a dock. I'm still going to have to get in the water a little bit and climb back up, but let's see what I can do.
The water stings a little, but not as much as a gelatinous cube. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I guess we can cut our losses. And
I want to tie a rope around Veo and maybe lead her off. That way, if you fall, maybe I can grab you and you won't fall into the water.
Yeah, it's not too difficult with a rope for Veo, thanks to your claws, to climb along the sewer's edge and kind of scuffle back up to the quay. And then the rest of you can, holding the rope in place, Sebastian can take the rope next, and the two of you can hold it for Peludo to kind of climb across the sewage and back up and out again.
Okay.
So you've resolved to seek out the Rat Prince?
yeah, he made a promise to us when he thought we were the Ghostly Three, that if
Which,
we came
quite frankly, I
knocking,
think it
he
should
would
be your
lead us
just
into the
default
city
name,
through the
the
sewers
Ghostly
because
Three.
he knew the way. At this current moment, it seems like our attempt
can
to
run
navigate the
channels
sewers by
these-
ourselves resulted in near death,
And
it might be better if we have a rat prince to
haunted,
go
like,
first.
Mm-hmm.
Then
like
he
the
can run into a
last-
gelatinous cube, and we
and
can
he
run
said
away.
many to their lips.
And I may be great at navigating the city on top, but the sewers are definitely not my area of expertise.
How late at
So
night is
he
this?
might be one that can provide some resources for us.
We're going to need to trick him into thinking that we're the Ghostly Three again.
Yeah.
I'm going to turn off my globe and put it back in my bag. Oh, no.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll keep it.
You can hang on to it. I don't need it.
I'll keep it for now.
So at least I can lead you back to the oh gosh, what was it?
The rat's nest?
The rat's nest, of course. To get that same entrance. Hopefully there's nobody hanging out there. But at least we know we can go back in that way.
Okay. You do have to lead the group across Knoll Country. Fortunately, Veo, I'm going to have Veo, you can take the lead.
Okay.
And because you've come this way before with them, you can all make a stealth check with advantage to slink through the ruins towards the rat's nest. And Paluto, because you are in armor, you just make it normally without advantage.
Get a 21.
24.
Okay.
A 12.
Okay. Veo
Clunk.
and Sebastian, the two of you are able to slip through the back alleys of the sprawl towards the rat's nest. And Veo, now that Sebastian knows the direction that he's going, you're able to take point as you lead them across Temple Road and through the ruins of the sprawl. And Sebastian is actually finding his feet. And between the two of you, with Sebastian's help, you're able to keep a lookout for Paluto, and he doesn't create as much noise as he usually does, and you're able to steer him away from oncoming danger. At one point, you do you're heading across Temple Road, and you see what looks like a group of almost 24 gnolls setting themselves upon a group of adventurers, and you wisely choose to not lead them towards that nest.
Suckers.
I feel like you talk me out of it. Like I see it, I'm like, there's people in trouble, and then you're like, no.
No, and I steer you in the right direction. I'm just like, suckers. Pluto, go.
So
don't
you can
even
see on our
notice.
map that the rat's nest is up at number 6. And so after it takes you about an hour to travel through this part of the city to get to the rat's nest, but you do make it there safely. You'll recall that the Rat's Nest Tavern was struck by a piece of the meteor, and it just resembles a broken rib cage, splayed open. And so
let's see, where are they?
you can still smell the ozone in the air around it, but it's significantly faded since the last time you were here. You remember that in the basement of the Rat's Nest, where the meteor piece actually hit, the ratlings had broken through and dug a series of dugouts and burrows. How do you plan to navigate that this time?
I mean, I more or less remember the way. It wasn't that complex of a system.
No, it wasn't. You can remember the layout. You remember that they had a relatively nasty trap at the base of the entrance.
I really remember.
Yeah.
I think we all carefully help Pluto down the ramp at the start.
Okay. Is there anything that you'd like to do or prepare before you head in?
How do you guys want to be ghosts?
Well, I need to be not in the light. So I think Pluto, if you prepare your lights to be on, because I think I'm the shadowy ghost, you're the fire ghost, and you're the chain ghost. So definitely need to make some noise when we do find the rats.
Nailed it.
Excuse me.
I'll fire off some fire bolts when we see them.
Yeah.
Why don't I stay in the darkness? Are you going to cast your darkness?
Once we're past the traps, yes, because I don't want you wandering into a trap just because you can't
I
see.
can't see.
I think also because you're not going to be able to see, but if you can tie, say, a rope around your waist and we can lead you using that rope, at least you won't get into the traps, but then we can see in the dark so we can lead you in the right way.
Why don't I just hold your hand, Pluto?
Yeah, I was thinking, you hold my hand, and I'll just make a lot of noise when we meet the rat prince.
Okay.
You gotta shake that
So
armor.
we're going to get in there. I'm going to cast darkness on myself, and you can't see in my darkness.
I can't see, but I can be out front, in front.
Okay. And I'll
'cause
hold
I'm the
Pluto's
shadowy
hand,
ghost,
and he will walk with me in the darkness.
Yeah, and then
Okay.
make ghost noises. But ultimately, I think when, they're gonna have to see our faces eventually. What if we say, because we're ghosts, that we possess some travelers, and that can be kind of like
And then we reveal ourselves in our physical forms of these possessed travelers.
This form will allow you to understand our true. But if we were to show you our real form, your rat
head would
head would
explode.
explode.
Okay.
So let me just get this straight. You're going to go down in
this is good. That's
Sebastian's
a good
darkness
plan.
spell.
Pretty good plan.
Present yourselves to the Rat Prince and try to convince him that your humanoid bodies are possessed travelers.
Yes, he's met us as the Ghostly Three, so he already has a certain fear about us. So we'll see how this works.
Oh, wait! I have a better idea. I have a better idea.
What?
Better idea?
That's pretty good.
I'm pretty sure this is
This-
the best idea, but go
This
ahead.
one is better.
I mean, humor me. Why don't you guys go and you can just illusion the sound of me, and I'll just stay back. And then once you guys kind of negotiate the barter, then you can stay dark and hidden.
I mean, honestly, it is probably safer for you not to slip and slide around down there. So
Yeah.
Like if you guys,
You know what though?
I'll stay near
Remember-
I'll stay
I
outside
was
of
gonna
his.
say maybe a
Stay
good idea,
outside,
but
remember
then
there
I was
was
saying like,
a-
are they splitting the party?
an area to
And
the
there's only
sewer
3 people
that went
in the
outside
party to
the
begin
net,
with.
So that sewer is outside. So what if you stay up there?
Yeah, could I? I know what Veo's talking about. Did that lead up to the street or up to the sewer?
That led.
It was the other way into his
There
Yeah.
was another way that led into the sewers, so you'd have to find a manhole cover, open that up, and head down into the sewers again and start trying to find the back entrance.
I don't know about that.
I think
Okay.
maybe just stay up there until we come and get you.
I'll
Although-
stay near the entrance.
Although then what happens when we reveal ourselves and you're not there?
I was thinking like you guys could, ditch the revealing part. Get him just to take you.
At
But
some point we'll have to reveal ourselves.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I'll come down. We'll try it. Let's try it.
Okay.
Plan 1.
Okay.
Plan A.
So you cast darkness. Are you going to use sorcery points to cast it?
Yes, so I
Okay.
can see through it.
So I'm still gonna be out in front because he can't see me anyways in
Yeah,
darkness.
you stay in front of the darkness. I'll hold Pluto's hand.
I'm just gonna I'm gonna have both hands
Oh.
around your waist.
Oh.
Like a conga line.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna shake, and while I shake, I hope that I make enough
So you
noise.
very carefully head down the
Muddy.
slippery, muddy. So remember, the Rat's Nest Tavern, the lower level of it, is just wreckage. Where this meteor hit, and there was a breach in the wall that led to a curved burrow that then quickly slid down into the darkness like a slide. At the bottom of which, you remember, was a punji trap of a spiked pit.
Yes,
Working
I
together
remember.
and with knowledge of that this is likely to happen, you're able to secure each other, secure a rope, and very carefully navigate your way down this slide to the base. Where, as you get to the bottom, you see a sleeping ratling coiled up at the bottom of the burrow, in the large burrow that leads on.
Do we recognize him?
No, it is not the Rat Prince.
Vea,
Any more?
would you kindly do the honors?
I start making ghostly noises.
Oh, dear Lord.
Now I want to wake him up. Where is your prince?
The ratling leaps to her feet and screeches out at the top of her lungs and says, and leaving her crossbow in place, begins running completely forward, and because the darkness spell she can't see, and so she gets up, runs, and collides with the wall of the burrow and knocks herself unconscious.
We're off to a good
I
start.
was like, okay, oh,
Vea, I
Excuse
meant
me.
kill it. I meant kill it.
why would we kill it? It could be the one leading us down.
Oh no,
We're
I
not here to-
totally,
We're not here to kill anyone.
I totally thought
I was
that
like-
you meant to wake it up and
No.
try to.
I meant kill it.
No, we're not here to
Vea,
kill
do
him.
the
He's
honor.
in that-
Woo.
Are we gonna...
After being unconscious
I mean,
for
it
a few
worked.
moments, the ratling gets up again, realizes she can't see and says, "I've gone blind! I've gone blind!
I'm just like,
No,
Pluto,
rat mother,
or
save me!
Sebastian."
I've gone blind!"
You're not blind, milady. You're dealing with the ghostly three.
And I shake.
You may have heard of us from your prince.
Oh, the rat prince spoke of you. Terrible ghosts that came and scourged our people. No, don't kill me, please. I'll give you
Oh,
cheese.
God.
I'll give you food.
Okay.
I'll give you anything.
We'll take the cheese and food. It's odd that you separated those two things, but lead us to your prince.
Yes, I'll lead you.
And I'm just like, Sebastian, back up so she can see where she's
she-
going.
I take a few steps back so she can see.
My sight has returned.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you. And she reaches into her side and she pulls out a wheel of cheese.
I grab it.
It's
little
been
hand
wrapped
comes out
up
of the
in cloth.
She can't see me anyways.
And it's been nibbled thoroughly. But yeah, you reach out and you grab the cheese. She to her eyes, because you're invisible in the darkness, she just sees the cheese float up and disappear, and she's like, "Oh, hungry ghost, you like cheese? Yes."
Yes.
We only
Do
eat
you have
cheese
more? No.
and rats.
Focus. Take us to your prince and cheese.
Oh.
different, but
The ratling just scurries forward and he goes, "Follow, yes, ghost, follow. Don't eat me. You eat cheese, not me, although yes."
Yes.
Agreed.
For now. Ching clunk 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 clunk.
Oh, the chain goes. And
This is my
you
favorite.
head forward,
Goes to
and
3 bits.
she starts screaming out, and she says, "Prince, they come for you. The ghosts, they come!" And all of a sudden, you can hear this screeching chorus of rats, all singing, "No, the horrible ghosts."
Ooh, yes, we've come for you.
We're famous.
Such a prediction, and only
Um,
they were only at level.
And as they lead you into
I was
the
gonna say
chamber,
4,
where
but
the
no, they
statue
got
of
this
the rat
reputation at
god
level
waits,
3.
and you can see that arranged around the rat god have been carved the smaller effigies of 3 ghosts. One one that has been wrapped in
They've
foil
started the
and lit
cult.
on fire, another that is been painted black, and another that is wrapped in chains. And the
This monument pleases me. Clunk 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 clunk.
and it looks like around
You
the
can't even see
statues
it.
of the ghosts. Around the statues of the ghosts, they've left like offerings of like animal bones and bits of cheese and coins and pieces of delirium.
Oh.
And like several of them have like, written small notes that are like in scrawled
Oh,
common
God.
that say, "Please
They
don't
don't
murder
worship
me in my sleep."
Rat friend, are these offerings for us?
And she says, "Oh yes, they are offerings to appease the angry ghosts. You're the herald of the rat god, yes."
Indeed. And I start taking the gold and delirium and like putting it into a bag.
I'm just like, here, I'll take the deliriums because I can handle
Yeah,
it.
okay.
Yeah.
Do you have any more coin?
No, that is all. We have been making offerings to you in hopes that you would come and kill our enemies and not
No
eat us
more
in our sleep.
coin?
Oh no!
It's-
You greedy
We have cheese,
bastard.
yes? You like cheese?
Yes.
Fine.
The shadow ghost loves cheese.
The rat prince appears a short while later.
It's just fermented
and
milk.
The rat prince stands a good head and a half over all of the other ratlings, almost the size of a man rather than a halfling. And as he steps into the chamber, you can see him shaking as he brings a bag forward, and he drops it in the floor in front of him.
Ding.
And the bag is filled with cheese, sausages, bread, dried fruits, and nuts. And the rat prince says, "Yes, I have been doing your work, angry ghosts. This appeases you, yes? Yes.
Yes, yeah. Good, my servant. Yes. And I just start picking up the bag.
Can't even
This
focus.
will
Yes.
go to the
Yes.
head.
And
This
you
will
hear
go
the
to
rattling
the
say,
head.
"Look how the ghosts devour the
It is already
the
going to the
darkness
head.
of
Well,
the
I
ghost
think it's already
devours
going
the
to the
food.
head.
It is the end of all things. It heralds the coming of the rat god."
My prince.
It is the fiery ghost.
I
Don't
shoot a
burn me.
firebolt out.
Don't burn me, no! And all the ratlings kind of all crouch down, and you can see that like there's several ratlings are coddling smaller giant rats like children, and they're like, don't look, it'll be okay.
There's no need for that.
They're
You may
squeaking
may
and-
rise to your feet. I'm a kind god.
Benevolent God.
You
Guys, what's
promised.
happening?
I don't know, but I'm liking it. You promised us passage into the city.
Oh, the time has come. One of the other ratlings said, the ghost has chosen our prince to lead them into the next age.
Oh
We
no!
have taken
Oh
3
no!
bodies, and we have decided to possess them.
And there's a gasp from all the ratlings as they all chitter and screech.
Our true forms would haunt your dreams for years to come, but we have chosen forms that might be a little more pleasing to look at, if you can handle it.
Drop darkness.
The rats quiver in anticipation, and the rat prince says, reveal your true form to us.
Not our true form, our less horrible form.
We can handle it.
Okay, here's our good to go form that you're going to be able to handle. You ready?
Yes.
I turn off the darkness spell.
All the rats scream, it's horrible! Horrible human!
But I'm like,
And I shoot another firebolt.
And they scream.
you can't see me. Turn on the light. I'm still invisible.
Turn on your...
Oh, I turn on the globe, and I also give like a... I stop touching you.
Oh, I was enjoying
Put
it.
on the light, the drift globe, and I'll do a shake.
Oh, truly horrible. They take the forms of humans and cats, the ones that catch and kill the rats.
I
Oh.
lose gloves.
They're like shaking.
I
Many of the small ratlings are crying.
I feel a little bad.
Like,
We mean you no harm. You have given us great offerings on this day.
We will spare your lives.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, great ghosts. Great ghosts. We see that you have taken
Great-
these bodies. Yes.
Great when
Yes.
ghosts come out, then
And
so
the rat prince comes forward.
lies.
What do you ask of me in exchange? We have many offerings for you. Yes, yes?
now these bodies, they allow us to travel around on the plains of others, above ground. But we need your help and we need your offering of leading us through the sewers to get into the city.
Oh, you will go into the city, yes, where the great shinies are, yes?
Yes,
You seek the shinies.
we seek them. That's why we were pleased with your offering, shinies.
Oh, the great ghost will seize the shinies, and the rat god will be born again. And all the rats
Just
begin
go
to
with it.
sing,
Just go with it.
really macabre and terrible song in their language. And they like are rattling on skin drums and screeching at the top of their lungs.
What language is their language?
It's like a combination of broken common and like rats squeaking and hissing. So it's like a chittering, like, and once in a while, you know how like K-pop inserts a little bit of English into it?
Yeah.
Imagine rats screeching, and then once in a while they insert a few words of common.
Terrifying. Absolutely terrifying.
Now, one more thing before we leave. The last time we were here, we did leave a large rock where we happened to put your mother to rest. Do you happen to know where that is?
Oh yes, it's still here. It's still here.
Yeah.
That's iron that we can use to... yeah, that's iron.
That it is another offering.
Yeah.
We will protect and guard it. Do you wish to take it now?
We'll take some.
How heavy is it?
I'm gonna.
It weighs thousands of pounds.
Can you have a group of
Then-
your rats deliver it to the mill?
The mill?
Oh, the mill.
Well,
The
they're not gonna
mill,
take it to Emberwood
it will
Village.
grind
yeah.
down, and it will be the body for the rat god.
Sure.
Yeah.
Um,
We might be thinking an alternative,
my
real body for the rat
What
god,
is
but that could
happening?
help us along the way to getting him here.
The great rat god will take a body of metal and crush the humans and the cats.
That's right.
Sure.
So excited for that.
I don't
Oh,
agree
dear
on the cat
Lord.
thing. That angers me. No cats. No cat killing.
What about the
Oh.
humans?
Oh god, now they're gone.
Cats.
Oh, yes, yes. The cats, they will be our slaves. We will catch them instead. Ha ha ha. You are wise, ghost.
Better than death.
These shinies you speak of.
Oh, yes, the
can you
purple
just-
shinies.
The purple shinies. Where are there any more here?
Oh, no, no. We give the few bits, but the rest we feed to the young ones. Yes, yes, make them grow.
No.
You got us.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
No.
Oh, yes, 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 yes,
No,
yes.
I want those.
Oh.
The shadowy ghost wants those.
The shinies.
But what about the young? They need to grow big so they may serve the rat god.
Give us half.
Okay, yeah, half. Half of the shinies.
Oh, okay. They look upon you with awe. And the rat prince says, "You hear the ghosts. They are the heralds of the rat god. Go and take the great iron to the mill on the hill. There they will build the body for the rat god. Go forth and gather the shinies, for the ghosts need the shinies to summon the spirit of the rat god into this world. I will lead
Okay,
them
maybe
deep,
they.
and they will find the great shiny. I will lead the ghosts to the true shiny, and the rat god will come. The rat god."
This is paying off huge.
I
We have
yeah.
servants that are gathering us iron,
I mean, rats is a good start.
and they're gathering us delirium.
The other rats, they do not believe it. They do not believe it. They fight us and kill us. But we will show them, yes, yes, yes. We will show the other rats the error of their ways.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah, we
They
will.
do not
God.
believe in the ghosts, but we have seen the true way of the rat god.
We got the craziest rats. Like those are our servants, the cult rats.
Hey, if we can
Aw.
use this for them to gather us delirium and iron, and,
Like we'll use them. It's just like, oh man, we couldn't have got. We had to get. of course-
Semi-sane rats probably wouldn't help us, so we need the crazies.
I guess so.
Yes, okay. To help on this
Exactly.
journey of getting the rat god, lead the way through the sewers to help find the shiny.
Yes, yes, I show you the way. I show you the way. We must go far south. Yes, yes, yes.
Yes.
Yes, we must go far.
Yes.
Yes, yes, yes. I show you the way. There is secret way. Humans very crafty when they build their tunnels and their sewers. But there is other way. We be careful, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
of course.
You trust me, yes. You trust Rat Prince, yes, yes, yes.
As long as you don't betray us, you have given us reasons
No,
to trust.
To betray the ghosts is to betray the rat god.
Exactly.
Totally.
All right. We trust you now, but don't let that trust be in vain.
Okay.
Let's go.
The Rat Prince leads you to the back of their burrows into the sewers and leads you through a twisting maze of narrow tunnels and small drainage pipes, further and further arcing and twisting their way through the pathways. And he says, "I know of but one way through the sewers into the city under the walls. It is but one way. It is secret way. Yes, yes, yes."
Yes.
Yeah.
Can I be keeping a map? Can I be making like a record of this, of the turns and the
Yes. Yeah.
and the weaving?
Yes. You can. And so the The nice thing actually about the sewer tunnels is that while there are small pathways that he leads you on, the sewers of Drakkenheim largely follow the main streets and all flow out to them. Right? So he leads you through this network of smaller tunnels that seem to follow closely underground before you actually come back to that long passageway near Temple Road. And you recognize that as he leads you past, because you think you might be able to tell, oh, maybe that was where that gelatinous cube was. And he says, the humans build many ways to send their water and their waste out to the city, but it all comes out this way. Yes, yes, yes. And this is the way that we may get in. Yes, yes, yes.
You ever seen any big cubes of jelly around here?
Oh, they're truly horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
There
telling
are
me.
many of them
Well,
now.
They've
Do you know how to
eaten
spot
many of
them?
Oh, no. The best way to spot them is you get smaller rat walk ahead of you, and it goes squish and then melts away, and that's how you know.
That's a pretty good
We brought
system.
some of those with us.
Yeah, we brought out a smaller rat.
Oh,
How do you plan to get us past gelatinous cubes?
He's like, oh god.
I guess
It's
I
like,
will
oh,
have to walk
shit.
out in front.
Oh,
I am the
dude.
Yeah,
small
you're
one,
the
yes.
smaller.
Oh.
That's why you're here.
But we will reward you greatly for your bravery.
Greatly.
And we will try to pull you out of the
No.
tunnels,
He
maybe.
leads you
our
through
best.
to the along the sewer mains of Temple Road until eventually the sewer main comes up to a great sluice gate. The sewer here ends rather abruptly, and whereas before there was drains, what you can see is it's the wide sewer under Temple Road, and it ends at this basically the gutter that was running in the center has this big stone, iron, and wood vertical kind of guillotine like gate that is crashed down. And the we don't need to represent it on the board right now. Yeah. That's okay. The way that it's been built though is it actually raises up as well, because the sluice gate is solid wood and iron, and it's held up well. You can see bits of it leaking through, but the top part of the sluice gate is actually a portcullis that is quite narrow, and you can see the sewer beyond it. And the sluice gate here, you can see that that you know how a bathtub has that top part of it that if you run the bath too long, it stops it from overflowing. You can see that the sluice gate here has been closed shut, but the top part of it is like a portcullis, so that if it overflows, it can flow through, and it's overflowing. So a bit of water is running out from the top of the sluice gate over, and so you can see looking into the sewer beyond, the sluice gate is shut, and the water level in the sewer inside is all the way up to the top of the gate, so that maybe looking like you have to get up on your tippy toes to see this, but there's only maybe about a foot, 18 inches tops of clearance between the water and the top of the sewer main. And the rat prints, as you come up to this, you can see carved into the sluice gate are several runes and the royal crest of Drakkenheim. And while you can see what looks like to be a track on either side of it, the way it's built, there's no hinges, there's no chain, there's no obvious, like whatever causes this thing to raise up is built into the sides of it so that it offers no purchase. And the gate itself looks like it has been built to withstand a siege weapon. And the rat print says, the humans build this so that none can sneak in when they get attacked. Yes, yes, yes.
So how do you get in?
I know a secret way. And he points to it, and he points to several charred bones in front of the sluice gate and say, You don't walk close to it either. Or that be you. But I know another way. And he leads you up back towards the where another kind of runoff drain is. This one is only about 4 feet wide. It's very small, so you have to get down on your hands and knees. He points to it and says, "We crawl, yes?"
Yes.
Yes.
Sounds phenomenal.
Okay. You follow close. Yes, yes, yes.
Yes.
I tell you, there are many monsters this way. You must follow close. You must watch out. There is horrible beasts this way. But we go quick. We be sneaky. Sneaky, sneaky like ghosts, yes?
Yeah.
You
So-
can do, yes, like ghosts?
Two of you can.
I can do that once more.
I'm gonna stay. Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes.
And just know that if danger does fall upon us, we're all incredible at dealing with it.
We'll protect you.
Oh, yes, I know. I see. So you crawl forward, the rat prince leading the way. Which of you will follow behind him?
I'll go first.
Excuse me.
I'll go second.
And I will hold up the rear.
Okay. A few inches of water are in this drain tunnel. And you can see about 40 feet down the drain tunnel, there is a crack in the pipe. It's a large gash. And you can see an eerie green light
Green.
illuminating from there. And he says, "We go this way. Come, come, come." And he leads you up to the crack in the pipe. The pipe continues on for some distance. In the crack, it opens up into a large, cavernous chamber. Something has burrowed through the bedrock here. It is roughly hewn, almost like the claws of a massive animal were carving through the bedrock itself. And it is hewn a rough tunnel that by chance hit this sewer pipe and opened up this way. The cavern that opens up in front of you is a small V shape, and I'll grab it now.
Looks dangerous.
This whole city is dangerous.
That's very true. Still, a giant beast that burrowed its way past here.
Do you want to pick up a piece of the sewer?
Excuse me.
Set change. Yeah, just put that right in front of you, Sebastian.
Nice.
Cool. Let's take a look at this small little room.
Where are we?
So see the hole in the wall towards me? Yeah.
Okay.
Nope.
Right in the middle.
Right in the middle.
Oh, right
Yeah.
okay.
Wait, what's that guy got here?
Cool. Let's see if our table cam can work. Yeah, that's cool. Cool. So the little hole there is where the pipe comes from. You see this kind of V-shaped cavernous room of roughly hewn rock. And there's the rat prince. And the rat prince leads you into this room, and you can see that the glowing in this room is being caused by all this bioluminescent
Excuse me.
fungus. which has collected and grown up in this area. And the rat prince looks and points towards the tunnel right in front of you, which burrows off and goes further deep down into the darkness. And the rat prince says, "We not go that way. That is where the monster is."
How would you describe the monster?
Oh, it's terrible. Its eyes, they flash with a light that just, it gets into your mind, and it's so scary. And I run away and I watch as my brothers and sisters get shorn and cut and ripped and torn. It didn't even eat them. It just killed them and went on. But that light, very awful. You see the light, you run. The eyes are awful.
So we avoid the light.
So we just avoid the eyes. Okay,
Yep.
easy.
All right, let's.
Okay.
Any other tips and tricks for down here?
We go very, very quick, yes.
Let's go.
Mhm.
Very, very quick. This way. And he points to the south.
I've never trusted a rat prince more than right now.
Yeah.
Ooh. What was the thing that
Let's
was
actually turn the whole thing. Just rotate it the other way, Kelly. Yeah. Yeah, that'll do us good.
There was a green glow, you said, right?
Yeah.
From the... What was the green glow from?
What was the green glow from? It's from the bioluminescent fungus in this room.
Okay, the fungus.
I personally don't trust the fungus.
Okay.
So I'm gonna take one of my arm wraps, because I have a couple wraps on my arms, and actually tie some across my face so I'm not directly breathing anything in, because I'm not quite sure about that.
Sounds good.
I don't want to glow from the inside.
Okay.
I hold my breath.
I put my goggles on. That helps, right?
The rat prince leads you through this narrow part of the tunnel until you come upon, it raises up just a little bit. You surmise that with the it's a little disorienting, because you surmise with the curvature of with the raise of the pipe that you were crawling through and the raise of this rough cavern, you might actually be slightly above where the sewers are. But also quite close probably to where the city walls are. And it's not long before you come towards the end of this passage, only about 20 feet down from the sewer pipe, is a breach in a masonry wall that is made out of stonework that is identical to the walls of Drakkenheim. It opens up into a large chamber, into a large hallway that is about the thickness of the city walls of Drakkenheim. And looking up in the arch working overhead, it looks like you might be in the foundations of
The wall.
the walls or the buildings around Temple Gate.
I'm still in combat, so
However, the ceiling here has entirely collapsed. Whatever cracked through the wall here
for this campaign have
caused
been
a
fairly
massive
short.
cave-in. And the rough dirt and sediment, and what would look like the filler concrete of the city walls above have collapsed down to fill this hallway. And what you can see is that at the south, at the end of the hall, so there's the rounded end of the hallway, and you can see that there's a storage room off to the side, and then the stonework has collapsed in front of this large iron-bound door. And then at the south end of the hallway, there's another doorway as well, a wooden doorway, that leads to a short hallway that ends in a it's actually not a doorway at that end. It's a portcullis. It's like a prison style portcullis gate. And then to the north end, you can see that there is what remains of a staircase that was coming down this way, but but the crack in the ceiling has caused the top edge of the stairway to collapse down in here as well.
So we can surmise that we're at kind of the bottom of the wall,
Under
but
the
on the
wall?
inside.
Perhaps, yes.
Okay.
Yep. The door right in front of you looks like someone was trying to push it or batter it from the inside. And it hangs slightly, like it's like kind of buckled out from the inside, as if it opens towards the rubble, but someone was pushing on it and
they were
was trapped by the rubble on the other side.
Is it how much rubble? Like, is it pretty big? Can I start to shift some of this rubble away?
You can, and looking over, there's actually the supply room over there is filled with shovels, pickaxes, and all sorts of artisans' tools. Pretty much enough that you could, given a fair amount of work, you could probably clear enough to clear the door.
I'm excited because I didn't know if this would actually ever come in handy, but mold earth allows me to move loose rubble in a 5-foot cube. I did it, guys.
We're clapping for your cantrip.
I used a cantrip.
I was gonna say I thought we were gonna have to do some dwarves work and get the
No,
pickaxes.
I
in
actually
there.
I lean up against the wall and I'm just like sitting there staring at it as like piles of rubble are being shifted away from in front of the door. And I'm just like, yeah, guys, just relax. I got this. Just give me a few minutes.
I should have used the dwarf's arm. I should have kept the dwarf's arm. Made it do all the work, but this works.
Okay, so you can pull the bit of rubble out of the way, and
Nice.
you move it out of the way, and it looks like the door could be open now.
And it opens towards us.
Yeah, you'd pull it open. Yeah.
I just asked the rat prince, "Do you know what's on the other side of this door?"
No. You waste your time. The way is this way, and he points towards the prison style gate that leads off into another room that you can see. You can see it in the darkness. It looks like another room, and from here, the angle you can kind of make out it looks like there might be a wooden table set up in the middle of it, and you can hear kind of this creaking, sort of lurching mechanical sound coming from the room to the south.
You waited an entire minute to tell me that we didn't need to go through this door. I've been moving.
No, I told you there was a way to the south.
Rat Prince, you'll have to forgive us, but we're interested in doors.
And I just spent a lot of time moving this earth.
Oh, ghosts are very strange creatures.
I'm just going to take a look. Actually,
I wait here, yes. If monster comes from the other way, I warn you.
That'd be actually fantastic.
Wait, can you guarantee that there are no monsters when we go your way?
No.
Ooh, monsters.
Keep on the
But
lookout.
probably not. I think big eye monster with the lights that flash, and oh, my brain. I think it lives other way. It not come this way this much.
Okay.
It not find too much food in here.
Okay.
who wants to open the door?
I got it. I'm gonna swing
Are
the
you
door.
turning on the drift globe again?
Uh,
Can you see? It's
Yeah,
dark in
because
here, right?
otherwise there's no light.
okay, yes, I do. I do that, and then can I command the drift globe to when I open the door? Actually, yeah, I'll start with the door. I'm gonna open the door.
Okay, you open the door. Let's just slide everything towards me this way, so that our good folks on stream can see the next room.
Full of gnolls,
Treasure.
monsters, demons,
Knoll treasure,
Something
demons.
scary.
whatever. Yeah, it's obviously something was trying to escape, and we're just like, do. Thank you, Sebastian.
How about that mold earth? Okay,
Mold earth.
so
Great.
Molder,
here's what you
and I'm
see.
Scully. And Veo's
You
smoking
open
gun
up
guy.
this door,
The smoking man.
Interesting.
and you
Sure.
see
Yeah.
what looks like a large common room. It has several barrels and boxes stacked against the walls, and on the other side of the door, as you open it up, you can see several bloody gashes and gouges as someone pounded on it from the other side with their fists until they hammered their fists into a bloody pulp, trying to get it open from the other side. There's splatters of dried blood all on the hallway in front of you, and looking up, as you look into the room and the table in front of you, you see a grisly sight indeed. On the table, on a spike, is a man's head impaled on what looks like the end of a broomstick. And then it's been pounded through the table and left in the middle. And the head is trying to speak. It's mumbling something under its breath. It's moving.
What?
Its lips are moving. It's you can see that its long, wispy beard falling out of it. And it looks like part of its head has been cracked open, and whatever matter is inside of it has been chewed at as well. Again, it's not rotting because bodies don't rot in this part of Drakkenheim, but it's very clearly dismembered because the rest of its body is, parts of it are all over the place, but it's just bone. Because surrounding the head, gnawing on the bones and yelling at it, are 3 emaciated men. They look almost like the bone, the skin and bone is clinging tightly, that they almost look skeletal. And as they look up at you, as the light opens up, you can see their sunken eyes are bruised around their faces. And one of them is gnawing on one of the bones. And you can see that the bone that's in his mouth has been like chewed almost right down to the marrow repeatedly. And they look up at the light at you and they hiss, and you can see their tongues have elongated, and their hands they have chewed their hands and fingertips into long claws, and they look at you and they just scream.
Close the door. Close the door.
I was gonna say,
And I will have you all roll for initiative, please.
Oops. My mistake? Pardon me?
Pluto?
20.
Vale?
20.
Which way we would like to go first?
You can go first.
Yeah, okay.
Sebastian?
11.
Do you think? Theo, if you would do your thing.
Vale, you recognize what's happened to these men. They have become ghouls, one of your favorite enemies.
Oh,
Oh,
should have seen that one coming.
You like these things?
No, I like to kill them.
Ooh. Ooh.
So
Honestly, I
Vale,
think
Pluto,
Rangers-
the ghouls, then
honestly, I think Rangers should get a damage, some sort of damage thing for favorite enemies too, to balance it. I think in addition to like all the other bonuses to favorite enemy, I think when you come up to favorite enemy, you have like an increased chance for landing a critical hit. Basically like you've studied them long, so you're familiar with enough biology to know where the weaker parts are, and it should allow you to make a to find to hit them where it hurts.
Sebastian.
If you agree,
And
comment.
as they
If you disagree, comment please.
they scream out and they say, "Meat! Finally! Finally, Traver, there's meat!" And Veo, it's your turn.
I take my bow and I say, "Not today, not this meat," and I fire the bow at the closest one. Oh,
And
she
crit.
crits.
Crit.
I'm just gonna flick him.
Yeah.
Are you going right behind me?
Yeah, slightly over.
Shoot over
But
the
then
old,
I'm gonna move back out of the way afterwards.
the old shoulder shot.
So,
Nice crit.
Thank you. So I got 2 d8s because of my dread ambusher. So that's 36 damage. Because of sharpshooter,
Okay.
of course.
Yes. Yes.
You get him execution style. What happens?
Oh, I aim right for his neck so that way hopefully it severs through it and severs his head off his body right through the spine.
The critical shot pulls out pieces of the ghoul's spine that clatter along the floor, and it drops to the
Yes.
ground dead completely.
Alright.
Nice shot.
And it's
And I
somehow
take
this
my
one's
second
cannon off.
shot. And I get 19 to hit.
That hits.
And I'm going to go for the one on the right.
Okay.
And that is a 19 damage.
Oh, it is very bloodied.
Nice.
And then I scoot back out of the way to let room for my comrades. And I
Okay.
say, your turn.
Pluto, you're up.
Oh man, nice shot, Bayo.
Thank you.
I'm gonna stand in the hallway,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna give him like I'm gonna slam my shield and sword together. I'm like, nice to meet you.
All
And
right.
I'm just gonna stand my
Okay.
ground.
Okay, the two ghouls that survive.
Oh, I'm gonna ready an action.
Okay.
Sorry, can I ready? Is if one comes
Wait,
in range, I'm
25
just
minutes
gonna
left.
whack it.
You bet. You bet. The unwounded one rushes at you, bounding forward. It's and getting right up to you. Make your attack.
Would you take a 14? No, wait, no. 15?
I take it. Yes. It runs up to you and is impaled on your blade.
For 7 damage.
7 damage. As it does so, it pushes itself further on your blade and claws right at your face, Paluto.
My face. My helmet.
It gets a mighty 8 to hit.
Okay, and then I'm gonna repost that.
You've already used your reaction.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the readied action was
Okay.
your reaction. The other one rushes towards you as well,
Ah!
leaping forward to attack, getting a 19 to hit.
That ties.
Alrighty, it hits you with its claws, and they bite deep into the flesh around your neck, and you take 9 points of damage. And I need you to give me a Constitution saving throw as you feel this bitter chill seeping through your entire body.
A 1 plus. I got a 6.
Pluto, you drop to the ground paralyzed.
Ah!
Paralyzed. Oh shit! Any melee attacks? Like he gets hit by our auto crit.
No
Sebastian.
rebuttal.
We are over to you, and the
I think-
ghouls eye you with hungry eyes like they're going to dive into you at any moment.
Sebastian finally stops leaning on the wall
Mhm.
and is like, "Oh no, there's enemies!" And I come up and I stand over Pluto, as is customary for when he gets knocked down, and I do the same thing I always do, which is I'm gonna burning hands.
Okay, so I'm going to say you can definitely aim the flames over Pluto because he's laying on the ground. So you fire the flames, and it gets both the ghouls, both of whom succeed their saving throws.
Ah, nuts!
Nuts.
So they leap backwards, denied their next meal to dodge the burning flames.
They still take a bit. 12 damage.
So that, although one leaps backwards, it's not enough to save it, and it is still caught in the flames and expires. The other is bloody
Even with seasoned players,
and burned.
the length
Bloodied
of
and burned.
You go to the top of the round.
the
with
amount of
Mayo.
time
I'm
spent
gonna
in these
back up.
combats
Or
is
no, actually, I'm gonna stay on top of. Yeah.
quite
I'm gonna
short.
peek
I
back
think
in.
he's deliberately getting on the power.
Take my shot and say, it's time for you to become ground beef. And I get a 14.
That hits.
Nice.
Uh, 15 damage.
What happens?
Oh, I aim.
You cleaned up this.
Right?
just
I aim
wrecking.
right for the jaw because I'm like right in the food
It
hole.
like howls out at you, and
Yeah.
Right with my bow.
They're destroyed. You see the severed head in the center still whispering, mumbling on some words.
Pluto, you okay?
I do not respond.
Pluto, roll a saving throw. Constitution.
Okay, there we go.
You come to about 10 seconds later, the paralysis having seeped out of your body.
Smack your face a couple times just to wake you up a little bit.
I'm
like,
up.
up.
After you wake up, I bend down and I start smacking your face.
guys. Okay, I got it. Veo, Sebastian, thank you.
What, were you scared?
Oh, I just
So scared that you dropped, man.
You
not being able to.
fainted.
I had a momentary lapse in movement.
Earlier today, you were inside a gelatinous cube. Then you get bit by one monster and you fall down
I
and just give up.
What are we gonna tell his friends and family that he fainted when he got across
Yeah,
some
yeah.
ghouls?
I killed a
Oh.
troll, but when a ghoul bites me, I fall down and die. Anyway,
You guys seem to just forget the whole gelatinous cube encounter completely.
Let's see what this head
Um,
has to say.
I walk up to the head and I listen.
The head, as you get closer, it says, "You moron! Don't pull the iron lever first!"
I look around the room for an iron lever.
"You moron! You don't pull the iron lever last!" Didn't say first, said last.
Okay, no.
Yeah. Sorry, I
Uh,
misspoke.
I look around the room for an iron lever.
There's none to be seen.
Do I see a body anywhere, or is that the bones?
It's what remains of his body.
Okay.
And as you look around, you hear him shout out again. "Pull the copper! Flip the brass!"
I'm gonna investigate the door from this side.
Mm-hmm.
He said.
The door on the other side looks like they clawed into it as hard as they possibly could to escape, but they couldn't get out. Judging by the amount of masonry that Sebastian had to move, it would have taken a lot of work to get out from the other side.
But I see no
And-
levers.
And,
anywhere.
looking around the room, like this room has been appointed as what was a mess room. Like there's some food, but there aren't any tools or anything that you could use to really break down the door. The men, it looks like, judging, most of their clothes have rotted away, but what remains of them, it looks like they might have been sewer workers.
And it was don't pull the iron lever last.
Pull the copper one first.
Pull the copper, flip the brass. Okay.
Is he saying anything else?
No, he just continues to repeat. "Pull the copper, flip the brass. Don't pull the iron lever last."
Okay.
Haunting.
I walk over to this door and listen up to it.
Most of this door has been broken away, and you push it open, and it's a pantry, and all the food has been
Sorry.
eaten. And it's a pantry, and all the food has been eaten.
But no levers.
No.
I'm gonna check out this door because I'm really good at opening doors.
And within this door are 4 pallet-style beds that don't look like they've been slept in ages. Several of them are broken, but
So we got
nothing
3
else remains
ghouls
in
and the one beheaded, the severed head. That's the 4, right?
Yeah.
What about the supplies?
Yeah. Looking
Rather-
around on the bones on the floor, you can see that there's an insignia on the remnants of the clothing around it that says "Fast City Engineer."
Now, maybe this has something to do with the other room that the Rat Prince wanted us to go to.
Maybe, definitely.
Because maybe these
Oh,
guys
shit.
just got trapped in here.
Potentially. We'll keep an eye out if there's anything that comes along. Keep going with the Rat Prince.
And it's totally dark in here, right? Other than my...
There are
glow.
sconces
everything.
for torches, but the fuel for them is long gone. Right? Looking around the room, there probably wasn't even enough in here to make a fire.
Can't believe they put him on that spike.
That seems mean. I'm gonna just. This probably won't work, but I'm gonna try talking to the head, and I say, "Where are the levers?"
It repeats the sentence again, and as you kind of speak to it, it says, "Pumps the pipes, close the levee, flush the sewage, open the gates. It's the wrong
This
order.
being
It'll
made
be very
exactly-
bad."
No, this is a dull conversation.
But we know I think we've got the order, right? He seems to be in charge. When we run into the...
Pull the copper, flip the brass, don't pull the iron lever last. So what's the order?
Once we see what we're looking at, I'm sure we'll...
Okay.
Let's remember the rhyme, the
No-
the rhythmic rhyme.
Nothing in that bedroom?
Yeah, I'm gonna check the beds.
Looking underneath one of the beds, the one bed has a small purse of about 60 gold pieces and a few personal items and a few bits of clothing.
85 plus 60. That's been our haul so far.
It's 28 for the other one each, plus 20 here. So
Okay.
about 38 each so far.
Plus, it's just some like random tinker.
Mm-hmm.
Thea remembers some of her math lessons from when she was at the palace. Okay.
I don't think there's much else happening in here, but keep your eyes out for some levers.
Yeah. I have a feeling it might have to do with potentially the other door.
Yeah, the door, the like waterway.
Yeah.
Although I don't know if we need to go back there where the rat
No.
prince is, but could be useful for later.
Yeah, definitely.
Should we bring the head?
Well,
I mean, if he's going to be yelling out,
Yeah. Okay.
From our
we have to be
bag,
quiet.
yeah, we don't want to attract, I don't know, scary lights with eyes and whatever the rat prince.
Laser head
Laser
thing.
head eye monster. Man.
slicer.
yeah, let's avoid
thing.
that. Okay.
I'm gonna head back towards the main hallway with Veo
Okay.
and the rat prince.
Put me up there with the rat prince.
So,
All right, Prince, lead the way.
Do you want to shift it?
I'll just tilt the camera down a little bit. There we go. Perfect. So, past the iron gate is a large room with a singular table in the center. In this room are three large bastions of machinery with many mechanical wheels, whirring chains, and great gears. If you had to guess, you might be right above the gate that you saw earlier in this room. Because on the opposite side of the room are three levers. One of brass, one of copper, and one of iron.
Well, that answers that question
Is-
pretty quickly.
And
On the
are-
opposite end of the room, there is another barred portcullis style gate that is open, and the rat prince gestures to you and says, "Come, come. Nothing but machine men minds in this room. We go forward. We go forward. Yes, yes, yes."
But we have so many clues.
We have like a puzzle. I love puzzles.
Ghosts are strange.
Yeah.
There's nothing else in the room, right? There's no thing, people, any bodies.
There's several barrels of tools and what look like perhaps replacement parts for the bits of machinery in here. A few ladders and other assorted pieces of equipment. Yes.
I'm gonna double back. I go 1 second,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna go grab the head on the stick, and I'm gonna put it in the other room.
Okay. He continues to rant and rave away.
There. So now we know we're getting our instructions from the boss. He's like our supervisor. All right, you're back home. You're exactly where you want to be. What do we do, Chief?
Flip the copper, pull the brass. Don't pull the iron lever last.
Is it pull copper, flip
the
brass?
Copper, pull the brass.
I had pull copper, flip brass. Don't pull the iron lever last.
So, are all three of the switches the same? Do they all function the same?
They're all set into the wall in different places. There's no other functions that are marked aside from the material that the levers are made of.
Are they in a certain order?
Yes. The order that they are built in is the iron lever, the brass lever, then the copper lever.
So copper.
I want to investigate the iron lever.
Mm-hmm.
In which way does it appear to move?
All of them appear to pull down. Right.
And they're all in like their current position.
Yeah, they're all up, and they all are that kind of lever that is on like a gear, and then has the yoke, and then the center lever. Yeah.
Okay.
Brass.
So iron can't be third. We know that.
Mm-hmm.
But the other two are just generic instructions. So
Now flip and pull are two different motions.
Yeah.
So my guess might be that
flip
Well,
needs to stay up.
yeah.
So okay, I ask the head again. Is it flip the copper, pull the brass, or is it
Pull the copper, flip the brass. Don't pull the iron lever last.
What? Are they all in the same direction?
They are. They are all up, and they all appear to go in one direction, which is down.
So my guess is
leave,
pull the iron.
Yeah.
Pull the copper.
leave
ignore
the
the
brass?
brass.
That sounds
That sounds reasonable.
Yeah.
reasonable to me. I will take I'll take one of the levers. Which one do you want me to take?
What I can do is maybe I'll stand guard at the other entrance if you guys want to pull the levers.
We don't have to pull them at the same time, though.
No.
You know what? Everybody stand back. I'm going to use Mage Hand.
Ooh, nice.
So we all stand. I'm also wary of these machines. So why don't we all just stand? I'm going to stand in the entranceway.
Okay.
Now, on the opposite wall, is there anything indicating other than these
Only 8
three?
minutes.
I see kind of
Less
a
than 8
lever on the
minutes.
other side.
That there's the lever here, here, and here,
Okay.
and then this is the iron portcullis that corners off, and it looks like there's a set of stairs going down.
Okay.
Where do you want to be?
Closer to the door.
Excuse me.
Oh, should I be away from you guys?
Sure. Okay, so which one? I'm pulling the iron first.
Mm-hmm.
So I cast Mage Hand,
Mm-hmm.
and it floats over, and it grabs the iron lever, and it pulls it.
As it pulls it, one of the machines whirs to life, and you see you hear this pounding sound, and you hear what sounds like the sound of rolling chains, and coming from far down the distance. It sounds like another gate might have just shut somewhere.
And then I pull the copper, right?
Copper.
Yeah.
Yep.
I pull the copper.
Okay, you hear the copper gate, and all of a sudden there's a loud crash, and you hear the sound of water flowing and rushing, but it sounds like it's rushing away from you.
I have a question. Does the
You open the
does the
floodgates.
handle reset after he
No,
lets go?
no.
So they stay down.
They stay down.
Okay.
I feel like we accomplished something here.
Well, now where's your
Well,
reference?
we'll have to see. I mean, yeah, if we go out that door, if we heard some sort of crash, like, I'd be wanting to know, did it block our path going out?
I think we may have just opened the path by letting
And
the water.
you see that 2 of the 3 machines now are running.
Oh no.
What?
See that 2 of the 3 machines now are running.
Oh no. Maybe we had to turn the brass on then off again.
You haven't touched the brass at all.
Yeah, because I'm wondering if maybe we were supposed to engage it first and then put it up. Like almost like maybe it would engage, turn it on and off.
Do you want
That's
me to try it, or do you feel like I don't know?
But we shouldn't do it
You know what?
now.
Go
or we
check
should
the
reset
tape, try to
everything
figure
and
out
try
what
it
you
again.
did.
I
Take
say
a look at the
I say
dash,
move
try to see
forward.
if you can figure out what
Yeah.
you've done.
I don't
so
know.
far.
The use
Because
of the word pull and flip.
if changing it, this would be any improvement.
There's a difference there. There's something. It can't just be as simple as pull the levers. Wrong lever.
Which one did you do second? The water one.
I did copper, yeah, and that released the water.
What if you put the copper one back up?
I'm nervous. Is that? Would you like me to try?
I'd like to at least go out the door and see if,
Oh, yeah.
we've potentially been blocked.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thank
let's-
you.
Let's
Take a
go
quick
see what's
peek.
past the door.
Okay,
Go around
you
the
look
corner?
past the door, and you turn around the stairs, and the stairs lead down into dark, brackish water. And the rat prince says, "Yes, yes, this is the way. We must swim now, yes?"
Is it normally this full of water?
"Oh, yes, 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 it's flooded, it's flooded. This is the other side of the gate."
Oh, I think we should try this again because I think we can get rid of the water.
I pull the brass.
There's a crash, and you hear the sound of the gate rising. And all of a sudden, the water begins to flow out, and with a torrential crashing sound, the water crashes out the drain and drains away from the steps, revealing a clean passageway down.
Woo!
Yeah.
Nailed it.
Hopefully. Hopefully.
And that is where we will end things for the night.
Ah,
Ghost moves.
yeah,
Ghost.
I think at this point
I
I'd
didn't
just
even
go
realize
with
what
Ghost
time
and
it
see
was.
as
No, same.
the group name.
Oh,
Of course,
Yay, we
Well
that.
done, well
the
done.
riddle.
We solved the puzzle.
So we're going to wrap up for the evening here. We will pick up right where we left off next week, Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time for more
Six.
Dungeons. 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Why did I say 8 p.m.?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Mhm.
6 p.m. Eastern Time. A big thank you to our cast, Kelly, Jill, and Joe, and as well as Clayton and Kyle, who work behind the scenes to manage the stream and keep things running.
If you enjoyed the stream and want to help support our work, you can check out our Patreon. You can find it by following the links below or at patreon.com/dungeon_dudes.
And a big thank you for our new subscribers and everyone that cheered us on through this episode. We really appreciate it. It really helps us keep the lights on, quite literally, on the stream, and we really love your help and support. So thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts. If you don't know already, Kelly and I also post new videos every week on Thursdays on our YouTube channel, where we cover everything Dungeons and Dragons, including advice for dungeon masters and guides for players. You'll also find prior episodes from this campaign available for your viewing pleasure there. I think this week we have our episode dropping on zombies in Dungeons and Dragons. So that should be a fun one if you're planning a post-Halloween adventure. You should also check out our latest video that's already up now on horror in Dungeons and Dragons for my playbook, for my and Kelly's playbook on how to run horror elements in your game.
Tonight's game session featured music by Tabletop Audio, as per usual.
And the narration from the introduction was performed by 100 Years Boar.
And our game accessories were generously provided by Axe and Shield. Ooh.
And you see before you Terrain by Dwarven Forge, and we use miniatures by Hero Forge and WizKids. We've been collecting these for a very long time, and we love to play with these really, really fun setups. And finally, just so you know, make sure that you do check out the fact that Wizards of the Coast and Adobe have their contest, Summon the Terror of the Undermountain, where you can create your own monster for a chance to win $5,000 and a trip to meet the D&D development team and get the monster you make added to D&D, including a miniature. It sounds like a super sick contest, so you can go to summontheterror.com to check that out. We highly recommend it. We're going to be working on our entries ourselves because it sounds super, super exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you all so much for watching us again in Drakkenheim, and we will see you next week.
Bye.
Yeah. And that's where I'll pick out end things for night. Thank you for joining me. This is Frina Rudimentra, wishing you good fortune on the quest of life.